What up, y'all? What is going on? Let me know if you can hear me. I have to play this. What is going on? We are live in a few different places, actually. Testing out where we are. Let me know which branch of service you are in or were in, years you served, and if you're rated or not. We're live on YouTube, TikTok, and the Book of Faces, YouTube, I think LinkedIn, probably Twitter. A little bit of everything, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What's up, y'all? Yeah, we're testing out this new feature. So on YouTube, we are regular landscape, we're portrait on Instagram and all these other places. So let me know if we are good to go. What's up, everybody? What is up, everyone? La música is off, so there's that part. Bum, 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 bum. What is up, good people? What is up? But yeah, just doing a little late night testing as usual. So we got all the places working, so that's good. Day is good. Day is good. Testing some stuff and all of that. So that is good. And arranging some scenes. They updated this device thing that I use, so that's been kind of cool. Now I'm just trying to frame it correctly. So basically I can do like a dual stream. I'm able to go live in a few different places in a few different dimensions. So there's that part. My day as well. My day as well. My day as well. But what is up? How is everybody? What y'all up to? Let me know if you can hear me, as I was just testing some things and kind of go from there. So should be able to hear me. Sound should be decent. So let me know. What is up? Let me see. All right, let's see what's going on. Yeah, the music was kind of loud. Yeah, so the first scene I had, they just carried over to the second scene, so that tends to happen sometimes. What's up, Keith? What is going on? See, I'm wired in. Let me know if you hear a buzzing sound or if it's pretty clear. Should be, but just to make sure. Clear. Should be, but just to make sure. Sounds pretty good. 100% PNT, got my friends. It's easy. I wouldn't. I don't. I am happy for your friends. Is what I will say. Happy for your friends, but I would not attest to say it's easy. That is kind of dismissive to those that have spent decades trying to solve a problem and done all the things. So, in my experience, blanket statements sometimes are very discouraging to veterans who are trying to solve a problem when someone else, it's like weight loss, right? Oh, it's easy. Well, you just have a thing. So there's that part. I can help them too. I'm glad you can. I have a company. I run a channel. I literally do this. This is my job. This is my career. I have a company. I have a staff, and we do this. And with that in mind, I will say that sometimes it's not that easy. There are a lot of complexities, and at scale, working with people, it doesn't do justice or service to just at times, Anyways, bum 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 bum. Let's see, but help do great things. The more the merrier. Good evening. Served for 3 years, active duty, National Guard. Not rated, was denied. Hey, Sandy. Good seeing you. Haven't seen you in a little bit. Um, three activity. So, when's the last time you filed? I know you had asked before. So, David, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, permanent total for the most part should for the most part be for life, hence permanent total, outside of some barring fraud or things that would negate that. What is up? Quick notes. This Wednesday night, we're doing our ACE Your VA Claim webinar. When I pop on here, I'll cover things, but I don't spend too much time or going through too much rabbit holes. Be careful what you type. I answer questions as they come, but community guidelines is a thing, so there are things that I cannot say. I'll get like flags on things we talk about because we're talking about disabilities, we're talking about medications and conditions. Um, it tends to act funny when it comes to that. So be aware. I'm not for sure ignoring anyone. I'm seeing the comments as they come, but I'm also monitoring different places. So we are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. I think I said that already. So a few different places for sure. And they all go crazy. So there's that part. But Wednesday night, links in my bio, we are doing our Ace Your VA Claim webinar where we can go a little offline. It's in Zoom, so I have no filter and I can talk about the things that we need to talk about when it comes to this subject. But when I do these lives, I kind of just do them very open. Classes are very structured, so I like to kind of really cover material and get you ready for things. Check out my page. There's a lot of good things there. Check out our AI bot. A lot of cool features there. I'll show that here also in a second to kind of give y'all a run through of how that works. Let's see. I'm gonna move this up here a little bit. And let's minimize that some and actually move that up. Because I think that gets lost in the little comment area. So yes. But yeah, hanging out for a little bit. So feel free to smoke them. We got them. Shouldn't we got them? Let's see. What is up? What is up? Let's see. All right, so we did that. Need those 8 years. Semper Fidelis to Robbie. Confused as to why my claim was denied for back pain when I had many complaints and records. Well, a few different things. You have instances where the three things that are required, right? Your diagnosis, your in-service event or stressor, or your nexus connecting those two things. That's part of it. So when it comes to that, something can be missing, but it's also a high failure rate the system has when it comes to decisions. So don't just outright think, oh, I'm wrong or I'm denied or I'm not able to do something, because the system does get it wrong. And we do see that a lot, right? So there's many factors that can go into something. So I can't give a blanket statement and say why you got denied because I don't know why you got denied, right? Was it something on your side? Was it operator error? Was it system error? That matters. So that's part of the conversation as to what I would suggest. Let's see. Dun 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 dun. Let's see. To secondaries. Yeah, a lot of things can be argued secondaries. You'd be surprised. There's many ways that things can go. So it really comes down to what do you have? What's the argument you're making? Right. One thing can offset another thing. Again, to feet issues, conditions, you can have a gait problem, walking problems, things that can cause issues with your the way you walk, again, your gait. So knees come into play, your bird rate comes into play, your low back comes into play. A variety of those things come into play. Add medication into the mix, side effects of medication. So again, the list goes on, especially when you start looking at chronic pain and things of that such. So it is a slew of things. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Um, have my records and active with therapy and chiropractors. Yeah, for sure. You could have everything in there. But again, now where is the current conversation? Where are we now? Do we have a current diagnosis? And what's the next between those two things? How are we linking that? Because sometimes that may be lacking. So there's that part. Um, let's see here. catch up. Okay, let's see. 4 years still currently pending med board. I'm at the end, but waiting to finalize. When is your projected separation date, Sauce? Check out the BDD course we have. I would highly recommend it. It is the cat's pajamas. Put it together specifically for our BDD folks leaving service. So I would highly recommend that. Actually, I might be able to show that. So let's jump over. So on the website, link in bio, brothernetwork.club. And make sure that that is coming across. Yes, it is. Check out our BDD course. It is made for those leaving active duty. Med boards, separation, ETS, and so forth. It is definitely a great tool. We've had great success with folks that have gone through it. So I would suggest it for sure. A lot of good stuff in there. Resources, solving your problem, and it has a variety of things, videos and resources and downloads and go buys and whatnot. So that is a big part, for sure. What's up, Devin? Devin's in the building. Hope you told. So actually, I have a hack. So it's a whole I hope you told Brian happy birthday. Yeah, like early in the morning. So it's a whole thing we do. We completely spam the hell out of our Slack channel on everybody's birthday. So it's always a thing. Actually, when we were in Colorado last time, we had a whole cake for him for his birthday. So for sure. But yes, indeedy. That's one thing that we're pretty big on making some noise for folks' birthday on the team. And we're growing too, which is another cool thing. The team is growing. So pretty happy about that. Man, I tell you, it's crazy how time flies. So we added some folks. The team is growing. That's a good thing. I think I updated the banners on social media and added some of that for our people. So pretty excited for that. Let's see, catch up on some more comments here for you. Okay, we got that one. Got out October 2024, moved back Cali, but never received my DD214 at all. How do I start medical if I don't have my DD214? You should have got that on separation. I would look into that for sure. Was it a regular ETS? Let me know. Let's see. What do you do once you're 100% PNT? I would honestly look into. Actually, I have it here somewhere. Where is this daggone? I don't. It's no longer really available, but actually, I might bring it back. We actually have a physical copy I did many years ago. All the states are here. This is the Veteran State Benefits book, and broke down all the state benefits. But online now, you can pretty much find anything. But check your state and see what benefits you may be entitled to, from property tax to personal property taxes to all kinds of different things. Get registered, take a copy of your records and paperwork down to courthouses and things like that. Um, Yeah. So yeah, take a copy of your stuff, take it down, have it recorded, make sure everything's correct, enroll yourself, get healthcare. If you have family members, champ VA. If you have dependents, chapter 35. And if you have state benefits for education, look into those things for sure. Make sure everything is addressed, make sure everything is properly there. If you have anything that ails you or anything that could be life threatening, consider that, look into that. I'm not a fan of not poking the bear. I don't believe in bears. That's bullshit. Ultimately, there's many factors as to why someone may have to consider things. So take assessment of all the things you have. There are individuals who may need ancillary benefits. So making sure those things are rated. one of my advisors, she has a husband who has MS, and he had to get certain things rated to be able to get certain accommodations and things that are needed. So be aware. Let's see. Do you have any tips, suggestions for those CMPs? CMPs on Thursday. Yeah, flare ups for sure. So I have a whole course also, which again, I go through it. So, um, for CMP, so Ace Your CMP, check out that course, about an hour long. A lot of good resources there, and more so even like how to go through the CMP, but then even rebuttals. You have bad CMP, what to do, things of that nature. But when it comes to a CMP specifically, it is very present tense. So we're talking flare ups in your case when we're talking about how things are manifesting on that day. Things may not be physically, completely out of whack, but how are they on your worst day? How do they flare up? Being able to paint that entire picture, that matters for sure. Um, let's see. The effective date, intent to file. Increase something you're rated for, and should I intend to file screaming? So it really depends, honestly. So there isn't a blanket statement as far as easy. I don't necessarily like the word easy or hard when it comes to VA claims, because there are many factors that factor into why someone potentially may have an easier route or harder route, but that's very subjective. The medical argument varies from person to person. So it really comes down to, one, where are you on the rating criteria? Is there a way forward? Is there potentially an increase? And then is there a way or an argument for that increase there, right? So the reality is we have to look at realistically, what are you rated for? Where are your symptoms? Is there an argument to be made for the next step up? If there is, are you properly rated? And then being able to speak and prove that you are at that level, right? So this is a conversation of an impairment, right? So I wouldn't say it's so much an easy thing, because if the impairment is there and you can speak to those symptoms and they're medically able to be proven, and you can showcase that, right? Come CMP time, speak to those things, etc. Then that becomes part of the conversation, right? So it's not so much a waiting thing; it's really ultimately a symptom situation. Let's see. Dun dun dun. Gave you a diagnosis. CMP examiner gave you a different one. So that can happen sometimes. You can have an instance where you may have a diagnosis that's given to you at the CMP, or something can be expanded on there. But what was the original claim made for? That's the biggest thing that I would for sure hit on to as well. I had to find a BSO rep in my area. They ordered my 214 medical records. Check. Semper Fi. Major, what's going on? A medical, either one, Sandy, though, as far as a diagnosis is a diagnosis. So ultimately, what are you trying to claim is what I would go into. Devo is 90%. Army, 6 years. Infantry can't get to 100. Feels like so close, but yes, so far that VA math is something for sure. So I would definitely look at the fact that what is the 90% comprised of? Where are you? Is there a path forward, right? Are you right now in a holding pattern because things have not got worse? Are there secondaries? Are there increases? A variety of different ways to look at that. That's where an assessment and kind of really getting a good, you know, perspective on this comes in handy, if you ask me. So I'm big on strategy and having a plan of action. 100% PNT, SDI. I bring in um, let's see. But there you go. Thomas is your man. Let's see. I see I can order an in-home sleep apnea tester. They will have a diagnosis if I call it with their machine. Should I? Yeah, yeah. A diagnosis is a diagnosis. So different ways to look at that, Devin, for sure, over on Facebook. Um, but yeah, Diva, again, just you have to take assessment of where you're at specifically. So for anyone who'd like to have a conversation, I would be remiss to not say that while so quick disclaimer. Oh, by the way, too, because this happens, I'm all for community. That's why I'm big on, hey, look, people have advices, people have points of views. I'm all for it. I don't have an ego when it comes to this. I'm all about creating space. That being said, I am also, though, very cautious about one thing. If anybody reaches out to you and tells you they're on my team, stop. They're probably not. And the reason I'm saying this is because this happens, right? I'll do a live, I'll do these things, and people are going to see me answering questions, and people are going to ask questions. And I'm not saying anybody's doing this right now. I'm just saying it has happened. I've had people slide into people's DMs saying, "Hey, thanks for tuning into DP's live." If you need some help, blah, blah, blah. And then people are hitting me up, so, well, hey, your team never got back to me. What? No. So let's clear a few things up. Links in my bio is how you're going to find anything about what I'm doing. If you want to see my team, you go to our website, you click the About Us. The one thing about my crew is we have real names, real people, real names, real backgrounds. I got prior VSOs, I got prior raters, I got prior law professionals, prior insurance professionals. Take a look. I got nurses. I have a whole team for a reason. And I'm saying this because sadly, you know what? It happens. People get got, people fall for the okey doke of random nameless people who claim to do a thing or want to do a thing. And again, I'm all for whatever floats your boat. I'm all about veterans making a decision and having options. So pick your vice, pick your poison. But if someone says they're part of my crew, if they're not on my website, they're not on my crew. The end. And my team's not going to reach out to you. You reach out to us. We'll have a conversation. Right. So that's the biggest thing I would say there. So for sure, comment amongst yourself, reach out to people, but be very careful is what I will say. And this is not on anyone. This is just me saying, as someone who's been in this space for many, many years, be aware. That's all I'm saying about that. So, but nobody from my team is going to randomly just hit you up is my whole thing. So be wary. Anyways, but there's that part. So Devo, I encourage you have a conversation. This actually Wednesday, I'm teaching a class. My team will be there. I'm answering questions without any restrictions because again, social media is a thing. Ace your VA claim is this Wednesday night. Sign up. Links in my bio. You want to talk to my team to have a free assessment call? Have an assessment call. We'll give it to you straight. We won't bullshit you, and we can actually have a conversation. I can only answer but so much here without looking at your stuff. But again, information and options is good. Army's in the building. 2002 to 2010, rated 8%. What's up, Torino? How could it be 100% PNT, drop to 9% because they say I don't have migraines but getting treated? That's odd. They took you down from PNT. When was that? Did they propose a production? I'd like to look at that. Thanks for your service to better community, creating discussions to make results. Hey, Rob, appreciate you for sure. Just got declined for DIC. My hubby passed at second to service connected. When was that, Leo? Did that happen? Let's see. If I already have a percentage, can I still add more claims to get the percentage? Well, it depends, Angelique. It depends. What are we looking for? Looking at specifically, right? Let's see. Over on YouTube, Clauso, what's going on? DP United States Navy is in the building. Shout out to you. Good seeing you, my brother. Shout out to Clauso. Let me actually fix this little thing here. I can bring up comments on a ticket at Toke, but on the YouTube side, let me know if you can see me in landscape or portrait mode, because that's a whole new thing that I'm testing actually. So that's part of what I'm doing. So I'm doing both on YouTube. Curious to find out which one you're seeing. Big Chungas, what's going on? You're at 80. What's the 80 comprised of? Let's talk about it. But yeah, Devin, for sure, agreed. I would, nothing wrong with having that there. Army's in the building. Apache, 11 years. Shout out to you. Actually, let me make this a little bigger for this side, and then this should be good. Perfect. I like it. I love it. Need some more of it. Okay. Let's see. So I'm already have my percentages. Let's see. I'm at 60%. I'm sorry, Angelique first. Migraines and sleep apnea. Okay, you're trying to add those, basically, right? Is what you're arguing. Are you arguing it direct to service? Are you arguing it secondary? That matters for sure. Great question, Colossal. So I don't believe I would just I literally was just saying that I don't believe in this concept of bears. There are no bears. There are arguments that need to be made. So this is a good one for sure. And I want to actually just very briefly hit this. So the question is opinion. I'm poking the bear, right? And there are instances where a veteran is still, let's say 100%. But in this conversation, what's going on? Is there something life-threatening that requires a claim? God forbid you pass and DIC benefits don't kick in because you didn't pass away from something in service connected. That's one. two ancillary benefits. You have veterans that have ancillary benefits, and those ancillary benefits can unlock things that a veteran needs. I spoke about, for example, one of my whatchamacallit, advisors who her husband has MS, and he was not rated for certain conditions that flared from or were ripples effect from his MS, and in turn, things that he needed ancillary wise was an issue to get. So ancillary benefits, that's the thing. If you don't know about it, that's a big part of it. So ancillary benefits, and then life-threatening things for sure. I had an advisor who was 100 for like ever, and he was filing a multitude of different things that he needed to file for his conditions that were separate to what he was rated for. So, and again, that did not reduce a thing. One thing does not, discount another, right? That's how I would look at that, right? Obviously, making very informed things. I wouldn't go for a ingrown toenail situation, obviously. Fees. It depends, honestly. I literally have classes right now. I'm free, so I'm answering questions as they come. I teach classes; they're there. My CMP class are 47. Some of the classes that are online are 67, 87. I do one-on-ones, so literally check the link in my bio. I believe in options, so I don't know what you need. Realistically, you might just need a class. You might need a course. You might need an assessment. So it really depends. Let's see. It feels impossible not knowing the full scope of what I can claim. Geo, that's where an assessment call comes in. So you don't know what you don't know. And this is where having a conversation, I think, helps to be able to get perspective. I'm all about options. Again, you can check our page, look at our advocacy, look at what we believe in, look at what we do. Um, I believe a veteran should have options, is what I would say, and get a fair assessment, right? Like having a conversation shouldn't just always be a link in bio or sign a contract to talk to me type of shit, right? A veteran should have the opportunity to get perspective, and sometimes it's free help, and that's nothing wrong with that. Again, I have two prior VSOs, Raiders, etc. on my team. You check my website, you'll see it there. So I'm not against options. I'm all about you finding the help that helps you where you're at, right? So there's that part. 88, 88 and 1,000%. There it is. Okay. Army 19 kilo, 15 years. Shout out to you, Andy. Army 22 years. Retired 60. Shout out to you, Rich. 22 years in a blink of an eye. Rated 80%, but I'm sure I can get to 100% chance. Is there a chance to lose prior if I do reclaim? No. So it's really about this is about strategy there. Um, I don't believe in bears, so no, I'm not gonna. I don't co-sign that. As far as if you have a condition that's persistent, it's like saying, for example, I have the flu, but I happen to also get, you know, laryngitis and a migraine. Those other conditions do not negate the fact I have the flu, right? I break my leg, I have a broken leg, then I also get migraines. That broken leg is not negated by the fact I have a migraine. It's a medical conversation we're having. I understand that we may have heard things, but as someone who is in this space and has done this at scale and does this at scale and has a team and does this, I will tell you that it's sometimes a lot of assumptions about poking. Um, there are instances where sadly I've dealt with widows and family members who have not done things and because they heard a thing unbiased, right? There are veterans for sure to get reduced and things happen and all that jazz. But again, why are we doing what we're doing? Is there a rationale for this, etc.? Right? There has to be a reason for it. But I would say bad beat get perspective, right? Have you reached out to a VSO? Have you looked at free services, right? There are options. I'm all for options for a veteran. So it's about meeting you where you're at rather, and getting perspective. I think that matters, especially when we're talking about this conversation of VA claims. Some conversations require more than just a quick 5-minute thing. So, you know, it's complex for sure, but there's that part. But no, Ola, as far as you're concerned, if you're falling for things have got worse, you have an argument, I would definitely consider it. That's one of the biggest things. That I think sometimes having a conversation and getting perspective, because it might be a situation where it's like, no, don't do that thing. You know what I mean? Don't blah blah blah. So there's that part. Um, we don't poke the bear. Yeah. So again, we hit the bear a few times, and that pops up all the time. So you know, it's a fair question. Let's see. Thanks. FYI, Hook was due to you and your videos by doing the VA system strategically, kept content coming. Pretty, that's awesome. Yeah, I think you had said that not too long ago. My man. One, and it's always weird. Like, so when I'm kind of, I have a thing. It's like a personal thing that I have when it comes to uh vets and disability claims. I do this, so there's that part. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow, is it tomorrow? Shit, it is. Well, Wednesday night is the next class, so yeah, Wednesday night if that's remaining. But shout out to you, Colosso, for sure. I know you for a fact. I know you've been following, commenting on YouTube and all that for a while. And for some people, there's your answer, right? Some people can literally just sit there and follow along and just ask questions and methodically, get information, get content. Like, I'm not one to toot a goddamn horn. But actually, where is the horn? Because I think I do need a horn. So, hit a horn for my goddamn self because literally content that's out there publicly is good enough that many veterans can have situations like that. Bum bum ba bum 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 bum. Right? It's just time. It's just time. It is possible. It's not impossible. Um, my shit's that good. So it is what it is. But shout out to you, my brother. I'm glad that fight is over, is what I was trying to get at. I find it weird. I don't do the whole like congrats, you won your claim thing. To me, it's always been weird. I have like a little pet peeve about that, and it's just a personal thing where I feel weird being like, "Hey, congrats, you're fucked. Congrats, you're rated." Right? Um, it's more so like I'm glad that the fight is over, that you were recognized for the issues you had, and you have the ability to no longer have to deal with that headache, right? You know what I mean? So that's just my, thing. This is a personal thing. So I get it, right? Like, yes, the fight is over, the system, we won. I get all that, right? So for sure, I celebrate that win, right? It's just one of those things that's always like I have to always give a disclaimer. I've always done that. Um, but that's that part. But yeah, I'm very glad that again the content has helped you, and being strategic and having a plan and being able to follow things. And again, the content sometimes is very much strategic. I do a little bit of everything. There's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but it definitely matters. Brian, there is no bear to poke. I don't know if you heard me already say it, but no, there is no bear to poke. So that's the answer. Let's see, bro. You have an amazing feed. I've helped 20 vets. Strong work. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, no, that's that. You don't create that feed overnight. So that's a body of work of many, many years doing this, not just a fad because it was a cool thing to do. And, I'll call out things on my feed and my page, but my thing is always facts. Is tonight is going away? Tonight is not going away. Sleep apnea is not going away. Mental health not going away. Go to my page, my pinned videos. I literally have been fighting and going over this over and over again. I've covered the proposed changes. It's on my page, but this is the problem, right? There's issues where in this claim space, there's a lot of people that just love to bring up things and fear monger you into things are going away and it gets all the clicks, right? If I were to sit here and just fear monger people, I'd get freaking 100,000 followers and freaking millions of views all the goddamn time. But that doesn't solve problems, right? Fear monger doesn't solve problems. Information, education, and strategy does. And I'm good with that. So all that to say, um, there is no the changes that are being proposed have been proposed since 2022. So tinnitus is proposed to go back under hearing loss where it was originally back in the day. Sleep apnea is being changed, proposed to be changed to required CPAP to the CPAP is ineffective. That's it. I have a whole deep dive on my YouTube channel. And I also pinned these things on my TikTok as well. And for mental health, there's a change going from the DSM-5 to the WHO 2.0. That's Whiskey Hotel Oscar Delta Alpha Sierra 2.0. And that's the change that is being proposed. And this goes from um, keywords to domains. So one of the biggest changes there. Bum, 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 bum. So that's one of the big changes that are proposed to come, but that's been coming again since literally 2022, and we have suspense states. It keeps kind of coming, so there's that part. Um, Agreed. Our Veterans Life matters. Big into advocacy. Check our webpage out. We're also doing a lot of work with the National Association for Veteran Rights. So this year coming up, there'll be more lobbying. There'll be more conversations with congressmen and senators and staffers regarding a lot of these different things. So there's that part. We work MST claims all the time, so I wouldn't say it's gaining traction. I haven't seen an uptick or downtick. It's been pretty much on pace. What I have seen is an uptick on decision time frame because they're trying to push through the backlog. But I've seen both messy results along with fast turnarounds. We've had 24-hour turnarounds. We've had things that have slowed down. So there's that part. Again, the link in my bio, you can have a conversation with my team, request an assessment call to go over your claim. If you want to have a conversation, I encourage it. This Wednesday night, we're having a conversation about acing your VA claim. You're invited. Sign up. It's a free class. How obtain, let's see here. So no, tonight is not going away. Your doctor can for sure write a Nexus letter. If you look at my content, I have a lot of videos where I kind of cover Nexus letters. So you can definitely look into Nexus letter if your provider is willing to work with you. We work with providers all the time and kind of help make sure that hits the points there. So check that out for sure. Check out some of the content there, but your provider for sure can help and assist with that if they're knowledgeable and willing to help you. And open to some feedback because sometimes you just may need to, rework how they're putting things together in that letter for you. But yeah, different ways to get a Nexus letter. But then the biggest thing is, what are you trying to do? Do you need a Nexus letter, right? So I'm not big on this whole, hey, let's just get something. First of all, do you need a Nexus letter? What is going on? What are you trying to claim? Is a Nexus letter required? Or are your medical records enough as is to suffice for what you're trying to do? So that matters. Let's see. Definitely need help fighting for DIC. He was on meds for blood pressure. Send me an email. DP at veteransnetwork.club. Links in my bio. You can go there. You can't send me an email from the link in the bio because it keeps you in the stand store inside of TikTok. So when you click email, it won't let you email. So it doesn't error. It's not that it's wrong. It's just that it doesn't let you shoot to the thing, right? So like go to the website or just kind of copy and paste the thing to go there. I mean, to go into like your browser. TikTok may be taking over your image videos for the fear mongering videos. Yeah, I'm actually pretty, and that's literally why I'm kind of multi-streaming all over the place right now. So again, we're on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. I think that's everybody, right? I think that's everybody, all the places. Yeah, X, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. Well, few plays on Facebook and Instagram, yes, and TikTok. But yeah, with these changes now, I'm part of a few creator things, and there are definitely concerns when it comes to these changes. I've seen it. I'll post regardless, so there's that part. But I think it's gonna be interesting for sure. So sadly, we'll see. I already had my page cloned. I've had people act like me. I've had people. I'll never DM you directly. I'll never ask you for money. I'll never ask you to help me. I've never been stuck in a ditch. But sadly, people do this apparently when you get to certain, I guess, following or whatever, and they start copying your stuff. I've had that happen. It is crazy. What is life? But yeah, Colossal, I'm actually pretty kind of like, what's going to happen here? I learned less sometimes. It's more the VA. They see you on your best day and document. And I mean, I go over that in a thousand different ways. Again, I teach a live class specifically for the CMP. I have a course for it. I created specifically for that. I created a course, so it's not a recording of a class. So like I do show clippings on social, but the course is a standalone online course, and then the live class I do is a live class, and it's a whole deep dive that I do when it comes to that. So I would definitely encourage folks to look into that because to that same point, right? When we're looking at how to craft an argument, how to present yourself, I think it matters for sure. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes people think that throwing the kitchen sink at the V is going to help. It's not. Let's see. We need to VA to push for more help. Okay, we kind of addressed some of that already. All my claims were deferred, but my benefit letter shows 7%, and I have service connection. Okay, so maybe there's some, yeah, so that can happen. They can award certain things and defer others. It just means they're not done working on other things. It's kind of a way that they work through their caseload as well. Not uncommon. Nothing, not bad, not good. Just process. Um, should I do a claim with multiple things at one time, or can I do one after another? No, Gio, you can, again, if it makes sense, you can definitely stack an argument in different ways. So you can say, for example, yeah, I'm gonna, do a claim now for my migraines and tinnitus and my back and my knee. That can all go in one. You don't have to necessarily break it, into chunks or anything like that. If it makes sense, obviously, and you're making proper arguments, right? Are we going direct to service? Are we going secondaries? Are we going for presumptives, right? If we're going secondaries, are the primaries already rated? Right? What's the rationale we're making, right? Making sure that's sound. If we're going direct to service, is the argument there? Is the nexus there? Do we have things to corroborate, etc.? So no, you don't have to, spread them out. Took me 3 decades. I'm finally TMP. Chuck, shout out to you. Shout out to you. My oldest veteran. It took him 50 years. I have it in my on TikTok. I have a playlist called Motivation, and my World War II veteran who passed away last year. He filed his first claim when he was 95. So, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that to me is why I say things like, blanket statements of like, oh, it's easy. Well, tell me how that World War II veteran fell through the cracks being a member of all the little, organizations. But it's possible, right? So it wasn't too late for him and he did it. And again, when we're talking about these things, I for sure am very sensitive to the type of veterans that we work with, what they've gone through. So that's why you see me at times be very defensive about certain things or, comments that are made because I am sensitive to our demographic. Okay. Options other than he left his 1-year-old daughter and fiance in 2 steps. I don't. So again, be careful what you're typing because it starts to strip things. So I may not be able to see all the things. We need to help our veterans and get them more options when they feel they have none. You're welcome, Leo, for sure. I'm sorry to hear that. And again, we deal with a lot of that, and those are the things that obviously don't get the most attention when it comes to those very critical situations, and veterans in crisis. Um, but yeah, shout out to walkforvets.org. When it comes to limitation of motion, any tips or notes to take down Geo? And I have a few of those here too, but the biggest thing there, I would say, obviously, pain points, stopping at those pain points, speaking to flare ups, right? When are things at their worst? You have active range of motion, you have passive range of motion, right? What can you do on your own? How can you move? What is your pain points? What is your comfort points? When you're home, how are you able to move around and do things? When things flare up, what flares them up? How are they at their worst, right? Being able to give that entire picture because obviously when you're going to the examination, you're not going to be potentially at your worst. Nor do I recommend you go hurt yourself. You have individuals who tell you things like go play, a full round of X sport and hurt yourself to go to a CMP exam. No, you don't have to hurt yourself for the examination purpose. There are flare-ups, there are there are instances where, you know, those things can be articulated. Let's see. My son's already chapter 35. Look, my oldest is literally graduating college off 35 and state benefits. So I been there. I am in it. So shout out to you, Chuck. That's what's up. Um Army's in the building. G off 93 to 96, 70%. What's the 74? I have my doctor give me explanation description or just fill in everything I'm claiming. So no, what doctor L are you talking about? Are you talking to doctor at the VA or personal doctor? That kind of helps. They're not necessarily going to tell you like what to do, so that's kind of a slippery slope when it comes to that. Yeah, they're usually gonna be again, you may have someone who may be helpful there, but really it's a conversation of what medical conditions do you have that are now reaching the level of an impairment, right? So it's not just them telling you what to file because really it's more so, hey, I might have migraines, I'm on medication, all this stuff, but the fact is this thing's not getting any better. This thing is not being mitigated by these medications, and I have these symptoms, so I have this disabling condition that I'm going to file now, right? So there has to be a rationale for the claim you're making, not just, hey, doc, what should I file? What are you dealing with, right? What exactly is the ailments? What's plaguing you? What is the impairment? And then speaking to that level. So using migraine as an example, you're seeing a neurologist, that's fine. But is that mitigating the symptoms, regardless of medication and neurology and all that? The conversation has elevated beyond healthcare. Healthcare is not literally mitigating and managing the situation. This is something that's impairing to me, regardless of the Botox, the infusion, the medication, the things that I drink, the things that I mix and whatever, all that jazz. Um, so that matters for context, right? So exactly what are we dealing with? What are you dealing with? What are your rate? What are you diagnosed with? Are those conditions, conditions that you're dealing with? How long have you been out? Because sometimes you have veterans who've been out for a period of time. And the other part here is things sometimes become a snowball effect. So for example, take my 95-year-old veteran from the Vietnam, World War II. He was also in Korea. But in this case here, right? What can we attach to service? Because after so many years removed, things started stemming or snowballing or can be daisy linked to the things that we can claim in service. So to make it simple, you jump out of an aircraft, you break your leg or have an issue, right? Now that condition can be argued to service, but then what happened after that? Well, after a period of time, you started overcompensating, the next leg got into an issue, then that kind of shot up. You had some walking problems, you had some back problems, you had some medication problems, pain problems that cause some GI issues cause another issues that cause some chronic pain cause some medication, cause some migraines or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my point is that all these things tend to compound and kind of snowball into another, but you have to rewind the clock. Like right now, your biggest problem is my migraines, but that's not what you can claim because we have to be able to say, wait a second, what is service connected? In this case, it's your knee condition that led to another condition, that led to another condition, right? That is valid. That is not reaching. That is not making up a story. That is the reality of how things happen that are either undiagnosed or untreated or undocumented or you know, underreported sometimes, right? So it's almost like one of those like crime scene things of putting pins in walls and let's work our way backward. That's strategy. That's understanding what makes sense, right? What caused this issue, right? Where is the origin of the problem that we're dealing with? And let's make that argument successfully to then look at other things, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Bum 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 bum. Let's see. Over on the tube. Two of my claims got denied. I looked at my C file, found they did. Direct to service connections versus me putting in a secondary that to be considered queue. So it would be a queue. Clause will know. It just would basically mean they got it wrong. You can pretty much supplement that or appeal that because if the argument you made was for a secondary and they put as a direct, of course you're going to deny it because there's no direct to service argument to be made there. So I wouldn't necessarily put that in the queue situation. It's more so, hey, appeal that, hey, this is something that I put this way, right? The queue you pull on like a flagrant foul, like this is ridiculous. That's one of those, hey, look, this is wrong, fix it type of stuff. But again, what are those conditions specifically? Do they really make a material difference? Is it worth arguing, especially once you've already crossed that? If it's something minimal that's still like, okay, it's not gonna really make a difference, if it's something life threatening or something that could potentially unlock an SMC, that's different. That's my other argument for the poking the bear piece. So it's the death benefits, it's the ancillary benefits, and it's also potentially sometimes SMC benefits because you have veterans that fall into that. What's going on, Cinnamon? Um, yep. So it's yeah. So to Mitch's point, I had 100% rating for PTSD. The rest of my ratings add up to 90, so I got an SMCS1. Yep, housebound. Um, I do have PTSD. What else do you have, Erase? And what's the cause of that? So there's a few ways to kind of look at that there, and how we're gonna connect it back. So what's the PTSD rated at? Not worth crossing. Just curious. Yeah, and again, but if it's but my caveat though, Colossal, is if it is anything life threatening, right? Or something that may require ancillary benefits. Like where is my little doohickey here? So this is an alpha stem device. And this is something that the VA literally just sent me because the things I'm rated for. So this can be used both for cranial electrotherapy simulators. So it's good for pain, anxiety, insomnia, and depression. Right? Not really selling anything. I'm just selling what the VA sent. This thing I think is like I forget what the sticker price on this thing is, but it's pretty dope. It has like a lot of different things you can do here. Let me see. I'm sure hopefully you can see that pretty clear there. Doop, doop, doop. There you go. So it has like little rods you can kind of like, in pain areas, and then it has like a little thing you put on your ears, and it kind of sends some stuff. What am I saying that? Ancillary benefits, right? So if you're ready for a back condition, hey, I have a back condition, this is something that might help it. Guess what? They're able to then go and purchase something like this for you, right? As an ancillary benefit of sorts. One of my vets, for example, or rather veterans close to us, has MS, and that in his life manifests itself via back problems. Once he was ready for the back, that in turn opened up the ability for him to get things like adaptive equipment and things that he needs for his condition. But until the back was rated, making the argument didn't make sense. You couldn't just say, hey, MS, give me this. Well, why do you need that? Because my back, but the back ain't rated. Ancillary benefits, right? So alpha stim, good point to bring up, right? So that's what I would say, also, if there are some things like that where any condition that's not rated may potentially be something you need, definitely, worth considering and looking at there. Um, so little food for thought. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see, where are we? All right, so 5-minute warning. I'm gonna shut it down at an hour. I just kind of wanted to test some stuff and hang out for a little bit. But glad to be able to hang out for a while here and ask some questions and stuff. But again, this Wednesday night, we are back at it again, talking about our class, acing your VA claim. So you can sign up for all of that. It's on the website, links in my bio. Take a look at the stuff that we have. It's the cat's pajamas. If you want to have a conversation with the crew, literally just go right to the website or link in my bio, and you'll have the ability to request a call. If you want to see the team, hit the about us. You can literally scroll down, take a look at the crew, and then see if someone, speaks to your service heart or branch specific and what have you, and have a conversation. The background of the crew is pretty dope, so I would definitely encourage you to have a look. You'd be surprised. Um, let's see. You're welcome, Ella. Yeah, you could go back, Geo, if it's already not, well, if it's already decided, then obviously you're gonna have to appeal that because that's kind of how you're making the argument for it. USMC 80, fighting for hopefully get that. Yeah. Good luck to you, Travis, for sure. Again, strategy, making an argument is possible. It's not impossible. But it's not something that just, the majority is not there. Statistics from the last, I'm waiting for the next report to come up, but the annual benefit report that comes out from the VA every year gives us some stats, and one of them gives us the following, which is we're about 18.5 million veterans, of which 5.6 million or so are rated, of which 1.2 and change or so are 100%. Like these are, the numbers. So it's not like every veteran's 100%, despite what people will tell you. Out of 18 million veterans, 1.5 million that are 100% is not 18 million veterans, right? So it is the very minority for sure, but it definitely matters. I got to CMP this Thursday, so I just get through it and they can um, yeah, show up for sure. Make the argument. You can definitely bring it up, Gio, when you're there, as far as, hey, this is actually secondary to this thing. Again, kind of a Hail Mary situation there. So I would definitely say that. CMP next week. My next CMP class is next Wednesday, but you can definitely check out my Ace Your CMP on demand anytime, anywhere. Links in the bio, but this is what it looks like. A lot of great resources. I would highly recommend it. We created it specifically for you all. So a lot of resources and bonus materials. Very successful with all the things that are in there. You have resources, what to do if you have a bad CMP, statement writers, how to look at your symptoms, all these different things. So a variety of resources that are there, a checklist, breakdown of information, etc. So and videos, right? So it's not just like reading stuff. So I have modules in there. You can go through them. And it is very, very helpful. So I would definitely encourage you to do that. It'll give you the solutions and tools to be able to speak to your symptoms. It's complementary to my live class, but I know it's not everybody can make it to my live class. So yeah. But yeah, Ace Your CMP on demand. Check it out. It's on the website. They keep denying me for my wrist. Got severe pain with pressure to apply and assist. Again, right? But even if you get that, let's say you get it a 0, right? Is rated. Now what? What's the real big argument we're looking at here, right, Travis? So potentially, right, we may have to look at what's the ripple effect of that. And then I use sometimes wrist conditions like carpal tunnel as an example. Carpal tunnel for you and carpal tunnel for me are very different. I, for example, retired from federal law enforcement, and me having carpal tunnel and having dexterity problems affected my ability to, shall I say, shoot a weapon, which means in turn that I can no longer do my job. So even though the rating is the same, the impact is different. And I think that creates a whole nother conversation for things like lifestyle impact claim, secondaries, things of that such. You're welcome. Uh, with that, do you do specific claims? So, Gio, if you understand the framework of our conversation, so there's so many different things. I'm not going to create a class for every single condition. No, we have videos for our veterans that we do break down, but the entirety of like how do you approach a CMP? How do you speak to that? How do you actually present your situation? If you conceptually understand how to do that, it applies across the board with different conditions. So I would say, given the success rate we have, um, it'll pretty much be applicable to a variety of different things you have. Dusty's in the building, U.S. Air Force '05. All right, lightning round. Any last questions? Get them in. Links in bio. Sign up to have a conversation with my team so you can actually have an assessment. If you know someone who needs some help, I would definitely encourage that. The crew, check out the About Us on my website. Again, we got some amazing individuals that I'm really proud of. If you want a chaplain, we got a chaplain. You want to talk to someone who's a raider before? You got him. We want to talk to somebody who's a VSO before? You got him as well. So you get perspective, and I think that helps. But this Wednesday night, I am doing Ace Your VA Claim. It's a live class that I do. I cover VA claims. I answer questions. It's a free for all, so you can come down, ask your questions, get perspective, get answers, meet the team as well. And I don't have the confines of social media. I can't talk about certain things here. I can't talk about checking out. I can't talk about the depths of depression. I can't talk about a lot of different things or medications because of the fact that this becomes a situation where the system starts flagging, right? Because, for example, like when I teach a class, I'm making a lot of like use statements and the way I speak about things, and it'll flag things to a degree. Looking at things like, am I making statements or I'm assuming a thing? So that kind of is a thing there. Um, for those who have a CMP exam coming up, I'll say it again. The solution you need, honestly, like I said, I'm not even trying to, be facetious here. Link in bio, Ace Your CMP anytime, anywhere. It's the reason I created this course, right? I literally create a whole course breaking down things in detail by module with resources and all that specifically for this. You can get through in an hour. That's what it's for. So, um, that's the biggest thing that I would say when it comes to this. Because again, I get a lot of that. My next live class is next Wednesday. Medina, for you, the course. Well, there you go. Well, on TikTok is right there. On YouTube is right here. So I'm streaming in both on both sides. But yeah, I would highly encourage that, especially especially for the mental health side. I'd go very deep into that. I have a module there that is going to be probably triggering to you as well. But what I would offer to you, it is all VA claims, but specifically we're talking about mental health claims. It's a present tense claim. I would offer that to everybody. It is a present tense claim. It's not a conversation about how your healthcare has been. It's a conversation about the fact that you have a condition that's impairing to you that, despite healthcare, is no longer manageable, and it's impairing to you, and the conversation has to be elevated to that. Right? I find it sometimes that veterans get stuck thinking that they're impressing me with all the things that they're taking and medications, etc. For example, you can give me all of these things you're on, and I promise you I can trump that literally in less than 10 seconds. Tell me all the medications you're on. Tell me all the doctors you've seen, and go down that list and think that that's what you're going to say is going to impress somebody. I'll do the same thing in literally a tenth of the time. Well, how would you do that, DP? Simple. Look at my service record, look at my treatment record, look at my medications and active, pain profile, etc. Active problem list, all the medication I'm on, all the doctors I've seen have not helped the conditions I'm on. My symptoms are still this. Boom, boom, boom. I don't have to sit here and give you a litany of medical conditions of medications because they don't work. The fuck does it matter? I'm sit here and go down this list and press you. No, all you see what's in there. That shit doesn't work. It's not fucking working. These are my symptoms. This is where I'm dealing with. This is where I'm at. Right? We have to talk about the fact that this is a disability now, not a medical condition that's being mitigated or managed or under control. It's not under control. Hence why we're here. So it's a present tense conversation. It's not what happened to you in service. It's what's happening to you right now. You fell down in service. Got it. However, today the lingering effects are blah 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 blah. That matters. Let's see. Keep the content coming, sir. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate you, Colossal. Have you thought about doing a collab with any other content creator space? I've done some, but this space is weird. You got people that are just sadly shit. You know what I mean? And I don't really like to spend too much of my time, but I have my company, I have my staff, I like my ecosystem, dealing with who I'm dealing with, collabs with people sometimes. It becomes a dick measuring contest. There are some good people for sure. Again, and that's part of the advocacy work that we're doing. So there is some more of that. You'll start seeing me do that. I do collaborate a lot with medical providers. So I'm actually going to be going to the West Coast and doing some things with some psychologists and some medical providers. So we're going to talk about nexus letters and psychology and things of that such. So that's coming. There are other creators that, will collaborate and do things, but sadly, sometimes it becomes a whole tug and pull thing. Like, I don't care. People can jump in and they're like, "Hey, DM me. I can help you do a thing." Okay, have fun with that. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I've been being in this space for as long as I have. I know a lot of the big players, the big companies. I've been burned. I've had people that they try to get with you, and all they end up doing is trying to copy what you're doing. They become a part of your situation just to try to learn something or figure out how you do business. And then all of a sudden they want to go do their own thing, which is fine, but it's almost like you can try to copy me, but you can't be me. Right. And over time you start to see that. You start to see a lot of copycats and you start seeing people they want to try to do a thing. Or they kind of pop up, or like the new thing today is AI, or the new thing is this, and the new thing is that, and these guys are bad, and this is a solution to the situation. It's literally the same thing that happens in any space, right? It's always the new people on the block that are like, the system is corrupt and broken, and here's the solution. People are getting got, but yet they're the same ones that are going to try to get you anyway. The same ones trying to freaking underhook you. And for me, it's almost like, you know what? If we can show up and meet our veterans where they're at, I'm good with meeting and helping people, right? And not just trying to go for the vanity metrics or going over, the fanfare of things. And people get stuck in that in this creator space. It's a lot of, hey, help me get here, help me get there. It's a lot of that stuff. I have people from people that you all know, which I'll never name. And again, I know a lot of these people, and some people that you think you don't know who they are. There are people who pop up in this space and they pop up again and they pop up again and they go away. The ones they like to call out other people are sometimes calling out themselves in their previous iteration of who they were here, which is to me hypocritical. People flip flop, right? They'll go on YouTube and say they don't do a thing, but they want you to become part of their Patreon or blah blah blah. Again, it's a very weird space in that regard. And all that to say that my problem is that they prey on a veteran's fear and desperation. Think about it, right? Like, I'm literally here for an hour just answering questions. I'm giving some information. Get the course, get it, don't get it. It's your claim to win, right? But again, to me, it's funny because it's almost like, like, oh, but people are sharks, whatever. It's literally freaking $6, $7 for a course that, has way more value than that. And I've had people take a course and win appeals with years of back pay and hundreds of thousands of dollars they got back. But, um, you know, so my point being that I don't like when people prey on the fears of a veteran, the desperation of a veteran, and people don't know that. So they prey on it. They hit your triggers. They say things to do that. Like, if I sat here and promised you, like, hey, if you work with me, I guarantee you 90 days you're gonna get 100%. Like, you've seen those videos. And it gets the clicks and it gets people to sign up. But the problem is that then they get screwed, they get got, they get burned, and then they wind up back at my DMs on some, hey, I got got. Talked to a guy when I was in Colorado. He paid $1,400 for a phone call. $1,400 for a phone call with someone. Not a Nexus letter, not a psychologist, not a medical provider, $1,400 for a phone call. And I spoke to that veteran for way longer than that call lasted, and that person was not given any information. He was more lost, you know, than when he started. So that's the part that I don't like, you know what I mean? Because I know what they're doing, right? They're trying to inflame you, and half, a good portion of my content sometimes is putting out the flames, right? I have the veterans that work with us, they'll see these things, and I have to put out fires. So when I'm putting things out, I'm really doing it for our vets to be like, hey, look, calm down. I know somebody said this is going away because last summer mental health was going away and sleep apnea. It didn't. And then December, it was gonna go away. It didn't. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's a whole thing that happens that people do, um, and it's a cheap way to do stuff. It's a cheap way to get clicks. It's a cheap way to get a following because nobody wants to do the work, right? It's like getting in shape. You have to do the work. You know what I'm saying? I've been online for a long time. Go back. You will see I've lost a ton of weight. But it took work, it takes time. It's not like one day you just wake up and take a shortcut to a thing. It's the same thing with this. You build trust over time. Geo, you're like a brother to me. Well, you don't just randomly consider people to be a brother to you unless they randomly or rather show up in this consistency and people trust and believe that you're going to deliver on what you say. There's YouTube creators that'll do stuff and 1 minute they're against everybody, but then all of a sudden now they're part of a company, but their company is the best. I mean, I've said the same thing forever. Veterans should have options. Pick your help, pick your poison, pick what works for you. Make sure that whatever you're going to get meets you where you're at. That's all I'm saying. A veteran should have the choice. I'm not against anything. I'm all about options. But I am against the flip-flopping. I'm against that no one should pay for anything until I discover something, and then now you should pay for something. Or nobody should do this thing, and I'm gonna create something, then now you should pay for that thing. Like, you know what I mean? Make it make sense. Like, it's always one of those things where it's like, nope, that's very opportunistic of you, very flip floppy of you, very patroning of you, very bullshitty of you, right? And if anything, like, I have a hard time with people who are very inconsistent and flip flop, and that happens a lot in the space. But again, folks don't remember that, right? People just look at the fact that this guy said he can get me to 100 because if I do this, I can do this. No records, no problem. Think about it, right? Bad credit, no problem. We'll get you into a car. How did that work out? Like, look at literally, it's the same thing we saw in service. How many for us that were senior NCOs or officers? How many junior enlisted do we know and we saw got outside the base? You got into some predatory loan situation, got into a vehicle you couldn't afford, got a payday loan or some crap and got because it was no credit, no problem, no thing, right? Okay, how'd that work out for you? So you start to see veterans that, kind of fall into the same thing in this space. It's the same thing. No records, no anything, no doctor visits, no problem. Blah, blah, blah. I get you to 100. Work with us. Yeah. Hurry up, guys. Mental health's going away next month. Sign up with us right now so we get the claim in right now. You know what I mean? So I get it. You know what I mean? So I'm not oblivious to the realities of the space. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's expected. It's every few years, there's always people with some new thing and the new kid on the block, and you see it. It's like they come out of nowhere and they're everywhere. And it's a combination of marketing tactics and paid advertisements and paid followers and insightful and very hurtful and very inflaming content to get you there. Like, people literally are getting into it with clients. And I don't get that. You know what I mean? Again, not naming names, but how do you profess to be empathetic to veterans solving a disability problem, but you make a point to make your platform one that is combative? Like, I deal with so many MST victims and complex trauma situation victims because they trust us. They trust that, hey, we've been showing up for a period of time the way we have and the way they feel comfortable. To Gio's point, you're like a brother to me. Well, why do you feel that way, right? But you have some veterans apparently that just think that I'm just gonna down talk people and insult them and do all this razz and stuff. And it's like that's cute and all, but that's not gonna get someone to a place to talk about very vulnerable, sensitive things, especially when we talk about disabilities, right? So it's to me, it's kind of a contradictory thing of like, why would you pick fights with people? Like, that to me shows immaturity. It shows a lack of knowledge. It shows a lack of professionalism. It shows a lack of intelligence because you don't have the ability to actually articulate your points, or you don't have the ability to actually deal with conflict or deal with disagreements, or the fact that guess what? Not everybody's your client, not everybody's your customer. You know what I mean? If the VSOs are good for you, I'm happy for you. I'm not gonna sit here and talk you out of it. Stick with them if you have to find a good one. You got a great lawyer, stick with them if they're a good one. Like, I'm not against whatever it is you're doing. All I am saying is that whatever you're doing, they should be able to meet you where you're at, educate you, and you should know what you're doing. Right? I'm in the business of teaching veterans how to fish. I'm not in the business of giving you fishes. I'm not here to get you to a magical rating, but you have no clue how I'm doing it. It's your rating. You mess with me, you're gonna learn how to do something because should the VA call you back, you're ready. It's like fighting. I'm not here to beat someone up for you. I'm here to get your monkey ass in shape so you can beat some ass. And once you learn the skill of whooping ass, guess what? You can whoop some ass whenever you need on demand. The VA is gonna call you in for a freaking reevaluation. Bring it. They got some questions about what you did. Bring it. They wanted me to come out for a CMP. Bring it. I'm not scared. You know what I'm saying? I make these kind of I use a lot of like symbolism and stuff just to make a point. But the fact is, if you understand the art of combat, you can beat someone's ass standing. You should be able to beat their ass on the floor. You should be able to beat their ass from how many yards away. So if I have to take a tool and put something on you, I could do that. If we have to do it with fists, we could do that. If we're on the floor, you're gonna tap. Like whatever it is, like if you're skilled all around in the art of combat, that's the whole point. Not just here's a sucker punch, see, hopefully it works, haymaker. No, right? Using examples. And my whole point is like as a veteran, you should be able to understand why you're filing something, what's the rationale, and the basics. I don't expect you to know claims like I know claims, but I expect you to know what the hell you're doing. And if you can't answer that question, I have serious concerns. And if you're paying someone for help and you cannot tell me what you're doing, I have very serious concerns because it smells like you gonna get got. So, you know, I see it. I see it. Big Chief, salute to you. Army 10 years in the building, 70% service connected. Shout out to you, Smitty. I'm 100%. I haven't worked in 5 years. Can I work? Yeah. Well, can you? If you are PNT, you don't have an income cap, so you're not barred from working. If you are TDIU, you're not barred from working either. You just have an income cap, the poverty level line. So no, it's not a situation of can you work or not work. Can you? That's the question. But more so, can you find something that works within the confines of your disability limits, boundaries, right? Because I would argue that you need to find something to be able to have purpose in some shape, fashion, or form. You're fine, Chaz. My team, you check my team out on the website. All the veterans on my team are all 100%. And you could argue that my organization, it's a sheltered environment, right? I work with veterans that are disabled. I have civilians that are disabled. So it is a sheltered environment. I'm not gonna fire someone because they didn't make a call or they missed an appointment or something that didn't happen because they had a migraine, right? Like it's a very understanding. Hey, we are working with very unique situations and people. So, you know, it's not your typical workplace. And for some veterans, right, they'll find places where they can find some way to find purpose, to find use, to be of service to others, right? To find something that can kind of get you to a place to be able to do something. Because looking at the four walls sometimes can become kind of, a sentence. So for a veteran to find something to do, I'm not against that, right? Like, we all joke about being a Walmart greeter, but really it's about, hey, finding something that at least can get you out of the house. For some, you have to get out of the house, whatever it is, right? A little change of scenery, to meet some people, or at least within the abilities of what you can. Some folks don't want to be around people. Some people cannot do that. I understand that. But something that gives you the ability to do something. I don't give a damn if you're freaking doing Microsoft Paint and your ability is to do something that works with that. Then great. You're my art guy. You're my art gal, and I need you to do this graphic for me. That's your thing that you can do from the confines of your house, whatever, right? So, no, I mean, again, I'm expanding on the question, but I think it's a good point though, because many veterans do ask that, right? Can I work? Can I do something? Arguably, please find something, right? Find something that, aligns with your newfound ways or interests, right? The VRNE program, woke rehab, things like that, I think are great programs because we're very mission oriented people. And when we don't have a mission, when we don't have a purpose, we don't have something that kind of drives us or we can look forward to, what is life? And God forbid that you're relatively young and you are in a situation where you can't do what you used to do, I can tell you as someone who definitely has a whole plan of action to check out. Again, I am a medically retired federal air marshal. I was in law enforcement. I worked in federal law enforcement. So all that to say that I understand how to use a weapon system pretty decently. And when I decided to use it on myself because I was done with this place for my own reasons, that's a dark place to be in when you kind of, lose all hope in things and that despair place, all that stuff. Again, can't go into it because social media. Um, so all that to say that you have the ability to find something to hold on to. All right. That glimmer of hope, helping someone else, being of service to someone, whatever it may be, it's powerful. So I encourage that and hopefully you find that. My mom and dad are veterans as well. Salute to them. Currently 20 years in the Army, trying to lock in. When do you get out, Tremaine? The BDD course I have, all the veterans that have taken it in some shape, fashion, or form have been very successful with their exit service. We can't lose hope, never. And the sad part is that some people do. You know what I mean? And sadly, I've put and buried many who have, right? So actions, being able to show up, being able to be there, these things matter for sure. Tremaine, check out the ACBDD course. Links in my bio. Everybody who's taken it have been very successful. I'll leave it there. This is not a channel where I make false claims or I try to make inflammatory claims. I'll just say that, we have a very high success rate for that course. Migraine secondary to MST was denied for no documentation. Favorable states the history of migraines. Right. So we and yeah, it could be contradictory, Shanika. I think it comes down to you have a primary trying to do there, but how was that argument made? Right. So you can have an MST. It's very common. I work with a lot of MST veterans. I have staff who's MST rated actually. Um, but now the argument being you have a history of migraines, but how are we connecting that to the MST in this case, right? How was that argument made? Was something missing? Sometimes it's operator error, sometimes it could be user error, right? I mean, system error. So I always look at claims from that two perspective. There's two things to look here. When I teach a class, when we work with veterans, I'm trying to minimize operator error. I'm trying to minimize your error, your inability or ignorance of the system. Let's get you studied, let's get you learned, let's get you deadly to be able to make your arguments and make your claims. Then we have to tackle the fact that even though you have all good to go, you're also dealing with potentially the fact that there is system error. When there's system error, that creates a whole different argument as to how we're arguing. It's not that Shanika's wrong. Shanika's argument is lock, cock, ready to rock. The system's fucked. So now we're going to fight the system because it ain't about Shanika's argument. The argument is solid. The proof is there. Everything is there. We're going to stick it to the man now, right? Figuratively speaking. Um, so that's one thing I would say for sure, and it happens a lot. I had a veteran who was fought for 3 years for migraines, with about 4 or 5 denials, and again, everything was there. It was just the system got it wrong. There is a 68% error rate when it comes to the VA and their decisions. And actually, I could pull it up here, so I actually will pull it up before we wrap for the night. But this is a very disturbing statistic. And I will show it to you because we like to talk in facts. We don't do the we heard a thing. We do the look at this thing. All right, so let me just pull that up here to show you all. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so we're going to jump over to an OIG report, which is no, I don't. No, heck no. No, we're not live every day. Check the link in my bio. My name is DP, combat veteran, medically retired from federal law enforcement, adjunct professor. I run VNCC Veterans Network Champions Club. I have a whole team with me, and we do some amazing things behind the scenes. I run a whole company, so I do this full time. I teach classes and do things with our clients and our veterans that we work with. Teach classes, do different things. I pop on social media. Obviously, you can check our site, check our crew, have an assessment call. We're the best when it comes to what we do. That's not a shameless plug. That's just the plug. But I do pop on social, but it's not like I'm gonna do lives every day. Nah, dude, look, I can't talk about half of the stuff I want to talk about because I get freaking flags all the time because the shit I talk about. So yeah, no. Plus, I probably would go crazy with social media because everybody has an opinion. Everybody thinks something. I'm like, look, I'm here to teach. But anyways, but no, not every day. I think I go crazy. Um, okay. So with that being said and done, here is the point I was trying to bring up. This is the VA can improve accuracy and completeness. This is the OIG report, not DP brought this up. This is an actual report. And there's a few things here. This number is actually much, much higher. But when I talk about the CMP exam and the position I take on it, this number actually has damn near doubled. But this is literally how much money was put aside to examine you, right? And it's more than that. So when we're talking about CMP exams, these people are not doing you any favors. This is contracts. These are companies that are bidding for contracts to literally examine you, right? If I wanted to be in the actual money of this business, I would literally open up a business to do CMP exams. I'd hire a whole bunch of providers and literally just invoice the government. And again, I'm talking to someone who, again, I worked in Homeland Security. I worked for the Air Marshal Service. Then I worked at headquarters. Then I ran programs. I ran communication programs, which means I ran contracts, which means that we wrote policy. So this is literally the things that we do. I would see contracts and people bidding for things. It's a whole government thing. So these companies are literally doing this. And you're going in here hoping that you get a proper rating. No, you're a number. These are literally part of the process. But it gets worse. So when we start looking at this part here, there is literally a 68% error rate. So we just identified that, for example, Shanika has a proper claim and she's good to go. But look at this, right? Literally 68% of the time in this controlled study, which again, the numbers have got worse, claim processors did not consistently identify relevant medical evidence for the examiner's review. They didn't always use adequate language. They didn't regularly request all warranted medical opinions and sometimes requested unnecessary medical opinions. These failings can lead to, watch it now, inaccurate medical opinions. Sound familiar? Incorrect decisions on veterans' claims. Sound familiar? Delayed decisions and wasted resources. Boo fucking who? All right. So I'm mentioning this because Shanika's claim is solid. I'm telling you, you are good to go. We crossed these, we crossed these T's, we dotted these I's, but the reality is this. They should be able to do that, but they have not. And consistently keep doing that. So when I'm talking about acing your CMP, I'm not talking about no fucking secrets. I'm talking about the fact that you ace something by doing the fucking work, by understanding something. So when I teach a class about a CMP, it's about you have to understand what the fuck you're walking into. Not just, oh, go in and tell them what you're dealing with. You don't know how the fuck to talk about what you're dealing with. Right? How are you going to present yourself to a complete stranger and talk about something that for the most part, many of you have never spoke about before? So we have to minimize the operator error. You don't have a fucking clue what the CMP exam is. You don't know how they're going to evaluate you. You don't know the do's. You don't know the don'ts. You don't know the process. You don't know how what you're arguing is even rated. You haven't looked at the rating criteria. You haven't looked at DBQs. You haven't looked at your medical records. Your argument isn't even solid sometimes. You're missing certain key things. So when all that is happening, that's the operator error. But let's say we've minimized that. You've done all the things. You now are solid. I know what I'm claiming. I know what I'm doing. I am on it. Then this shit happens. 68% of the time, the VA gets it wrong. You've done everything right. And what upsets me about this is that Shanika, in this case, finally took a chance to do this thing. And the system got this shit wrong. Look at this goddamn freaking failure rate. 68% of the time, they didn't follow required procedures. So when that happens, you're thinking, oh, it's you. No, I want you to look at this shit. Like literally 68% of the time, which means that you now said, I tried. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to give up. You know what? Shanika's young. She might get back in the fight. Well, what about the 80-year-old fucking veteran who's not going to try to fucking again? How about the guy who just passed away and his wife is dealing with the bullshit of the fact that he had a right claim to make, but no one ever told that veteran to appeal. No one ever said why they were denied. So what happens? The system doesn't go knocking on their fucking doors. Yeah, I love the fact that I'm showing you this report here, but here's the part you're not realizing either. They've identified that 68% of the time they got it wrong, but guess what? Did they go knock on the doors of the 68% of the time people that they fucking failed and got wrong on? Baby don't cry, baby don't eat. I never saw the VA call my ass after all these years after service being out, freaking underrated, blah, 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 blah. So I take, I take, a position on this that's very combative because it's bullshit. While everybody's here pointing fingers, this, that, the third, whatever. Look, 3 fucking secrets, an insider thing, a magic AI, a chat GPT, or all that bullshit means a goddamn lick of dick when you're dealing with 60% error rates. What's ChatGPT going to do? Denied. Because guess what? Again, for those that just joined the conversation, these failings can lead to inaccurate medical opinions. So when you have instances where the things that are relevant are not requested, or warranted medical opinions are not requested, or wrong things are asked, and yada, 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 the system's failed you. And it's not even on the CMP examiner because it's on the processor. You're asking the wrong things. Jackie's in the building. One of the best to do it on the CMP side of the house. A great examiner, creates great content, shows up, gives information, helps veterans. But the fact of the matter is, she may not be the person you're going to go see. There's other ones out there just doing their job and they're great at it, but it's the system that gets it wrong. So I mentioned that because I think that, there has to be a righteous indignation at the fact that these are the things that keep happening. All these daggone reports and these OIG reports and unwarranted medical exams, and they could improve the accuracy. What's funny is I sometimes when in class I'll bring these up. There's 2 reports, and one of them is they can improve, and then one is like they're making unwarranted requests for things, and then there's another one that's like an update to the previous one, and it gets even worse. Like they're still doing something. Like one was they're calling for unwarranted exam, and then the next report was they're still doing it. And I had to sometimes look at the title. It says they're still doing it, which means that they were identified that they were doing something wrong. So one report said you're doing something wrong, and then they said they're still doing it wrong. But yet we're still here freaking pointing fingers. Don't go there. Don't act there. Don't this, don't that, don't that. Tonight is going away. Mental health's going away. Sleep apnea is going away. Buy my chat GPT, blah, 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 blah. Get to 100. Don't have thing. No credit, no problem. Get a free car. Man, shut the fuck up. Moral story. These things matter. And for me, it's the veterans that get stuck. Oh, sweet Jesus. Thank the Lord. I'm done my rant just as Nelly comes in so she doesn't have to hear me lose my shit. So I'm calm now again. And everything I just said completely passed. So we got freaking, we got ops here, apparently. I just lost my shit about freaking error rates. But anyway, all's well now. We're good. But no, these are the things that I think sadly get lost in the space, right? It's a lot of fear mongering. It's a lot of hearsay. It's a lot of this will get you this will get you that. But what doesn't work, and the veterans, they're screwed after paying $1,400. I can't get over that. $1,400 for a 40-minute phone call, and the veteran had no clue what to do next. Just getting got left and right. Dímelo, Nando, ¿qué es lo que hay? Aquí tranquilo, suave. And again, shout out to Jackie. He's not lying. Took the class herself. An examiner herself came to the class. Yes, this just happened. So I just came back from Colorado. I was with my team. And while I was in Colorado, a veteran had reached out. He wanted to do a one-on-one with me. And I was like, what's going on? And he booked it. So we did it. And long story short, he tells me He had paid $1,400 for a phone call. Yep, $1,400. Not with a provider, not with a psychologist, not with an examiner, not with a medical provider, not with a nurse practitioner, not with a PA, with just a random person. And got no strategy, got no perspective, got no anything. And I'm sitting there going, you've got to be kidding me. But it goes to show that if someone is starving and someone is needing and someone is desperate enough, someone can get them got. And sadly, that person got. Um, Tim D, good luck. I hired a lawyer for it. I've been waiting 5 years for a BBA hearing. Should come soon. Fingers crossed. Those legacy ones take the time, but the back pay's nice once it does hit. I had a veteran actually who came to a class. He always comments from time to time. Kuyan is a username. $47, and he got back. He won his appeal, and the appeal was like 8 years or some shit. I think he got back like 140 grand, some crazy amount. And he's like, "That's the best $47 I ever spent." But yeah, $1,400 for a conversation, and literally got no perspective, got no advice, didn't know what to do next. You know, now he's with us, and we had a call and got to the bottom of what's going on. And he has a great argument to make going forward, but it's almost like, man, talk about getting got. Let's see. I'm nervous to push for the 90% porque no creo que no tengo algo para subir a 100 or I have a chance. No, sinceramente, si fuera yo te diría que, primeramente, vete al link que está en la página mía. Háblate con uno que está en el equipo mío para que hablen contigo. Te dan perspectiva. Si puede o no puede, te lo decimos. En cuanto si puede, no tenga miedo. Si hay un paso para adelante, te lo decimos. Y si no hay, no hay. Pero no duele hablar, no duele ver bien cuáles son las opciones, porque hay opciones, obviamente. So that's what I would say. That was just Fernando. If we don't speak Spanish, that was just me telling him, "Don't worry, we got you, big dog." Let's see. I think that the team is the one who reaches out and asks me to. I think that the team is the one who reached out and asked me to. Oh, sweet lord, man, listen. Started this in my 20s. Now I'm 35. Those legacy appeals, they take a while. But don't lose hope. Again, my one of my oldest veterans was out for 50, and my oldest veteran filed his first claim is 95. So it is possible. No, Tato. Yeah, but reach out, Nando. Like I said, have a conversation. I would suggest that. Hit the link in the bio. For those again, I would say, check out the website. Go and check out what's there. Again, I would recommend it if you want to kind of have an understanding of kind of who we are and what we do. Veteransnetwork.club. Hit the about us. We're real people, real names. None of that fancy fucking username that tells us that we're freaking some kind of claims ninja bullshit. We're real people solving real problems, right? Scroll down, see who we are, see the backgrounds. There's a stellar cast of amazing people. We just added some more folk to the crew, and it's the cat's pajamas. We solve problems, we win, we don't make false promises, we're good at what we do. We wouldn't be here as long as we are unless we literally were doing this thing. I'm telling you, I always debated too. I have a whole logo. I had made so many logos. I think I did like a claims assassin or all this shit. Like, because people love little fucking names and acronyms and shit. People are like, oh, what's DP mean? It's it's my name. That's pretty much it, right? Personal branding was not my best suit, but I'll tell you what I am. My name should be Mr. Wins because we fucking win. We are the fucking best when it comes to that. You know what I mean? But slow and steady wins the race. But 2026 is the year that we make no apologies for anything. We're good at what we do. Look at the page. Look at all our social media. Look at the comments. Again, especially in this day and age, if you're a piece of shit, the comments will tell you because you'll see people calling you out left and fucking right. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty proud of what we built and how we built it. If I get it, I'm gonna get my family straight, then leave the country. DD Mao, Tim, you are straight out of here. Jackie's being tempted. She said $1,400 for a phone call. Hold on now. I'm gonna have to take a few phone calls and 3 of them on Sunday. Pero estoy en Hawaii, el tiempo ahora son 5 horas East Coast. That doesn't matter. Like I said, my crew works all hours, honestly. I don't mean that in a sense like they don't work with 3 AM. I mean that we have veterans that are literally, in completely different time shifts. I got folks in the Philippines and shit. So we're used to very odd hours, right? And I think it helps because we can coordinate things. So it's a 5 hour difference. That's not bad. Um, my staff kind of works around our client schedules, so that's why we have schedules. We can kind of coordinate and make it work. So there's that part. The price was right too. I can see how they could offer that now. For sure. Yeah, hit the link in bio. Have a call. Again, check the thing. We have some Spanish speakers as well there, so you have the ability to have a conversation, see what's up. This Wednesday, for those that don't know, again, I'm having Ace Your VA Claim webinar. It's a live class that I teach this Wednesday night. It's on Zoom. It's not here on TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter. It is I was gonna say Slack in Zoom. So you can sign up for that. We're going over the basics of VA claims. Some of the team will be there. You can meet them as well. Then we have a Q&A. So going over claims, you can hang out with us for that. For those that have a CMP coming up, check the course. Links in bio. Everything you want to know. Links in my bio, literally. The Stand Store has everything put together for you. Check out our AI bot. We do have an AI bot. It is the cat's pajamas. So I would highly encourage you to look at that. Let's see. And it will look a little something like this too, just in case, because people sometimes need to see it. Bum boop beep boop beep beep bloop doop. Let's see. So, yep. Check out the claim spot that we have there. You have the ability to see that. And all the other stuff we have, you can sign up for the webinar. There is coming up on this week, with this Wednesday. So yeah, check it out. Check it out. Check it out. There it goes, because it kind of glitched. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Check around, pick what you need, get what you want. It is the cat's pajamas. Bum 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 bum. Let's see. 10% tinnitus. I have an appointment with my doctor for severe anxiety and depression. Okay. For secondary claim. Okay, that's an argument. Design it. Yeah, I've seen that. That makes sense. That could be a secondary. Get a diagnosis. Go from there. When I said yes for help. Let's see. Una pregunta. I had this lady that is low-key harassing that I owe her 3K. When I said yes for her to help me pay. Look, ahí está. Míralo ahí. Míralo ahí. Míralo ahí. Look at it right there. El hermano Nando is trying to get got. Like, you can't make this shit up. Look at the court case of what happened to VA Claims Insider and what happened over there with them trying to collect monies that they were not owed. Dios mío. She's still on my paperwork. Can I take her? So what was she? I'm assuming an accredited agent. Was she a lawyer? What was she? Because God forbid, you gave somebody power of attorney. They're all so upstanding. They're all so on point. Nothing against them. It's just sometimes like, oh, there you have an accredited person who's harassing you. That never happens. Who you give power of attorney to, because she's on your paperwork and you're trying to take her off. So by definition, obviously that person is acting in a claims agent capacity or some shit like that. And obviously now they want some more chatter. But you should be able to pull and revoke that. I have a mental health CMP exam in the morning. Judy. Is it for an issue or an increase? Just send luck my way. I'm not excited. No, I ain't gonna send you no goddamn luck. No, I ain't sending you no. I'm not sending you no luck. I'm going to send you. Well, first of all, again, one, it's an issue. Is it direct to service? Is it secondary to something else? What's the argument? What I'm going to send you is this here. HOCMP exam. This is about an hour. You can literally knock it out and you literally go into your exam ready to fucking rock and roll. It's a whole course I put together. There's videos, there's checklists, there's a whole bunch of different things in there that literally it's the cat's pajamas. You want to walk in there, talk about luck? No, you don't need luck. You need a plan of action. You need some strategy. You need to understand what you're walking into. This course is literally designed for someone like you because people would always ask. My next CMP class that I teach live is next Wednesday, not tomorrow, but next Wednesday. So obviously that's not going to work for you because you have your is in the morning. You can get to the course in an hour or less. Go through the modules, listen. I'm breaking it down. Videos are in there, checklists in there. You have a bad CMP, what to do. It literally gives you a checklist of what to do for bad CMPs and all that jazz. Literally the cat's pajamas when it comes to that. So you want to go in there and whoop some ass and actually have a somewhat of a better feeling walking into this exam. That's the one to do. Watch the bonus module that I have in there. It'll probably trigger you because it's meant to get you to really pay attention to what's going on. So I do hit on mental health pretty hard. So I would definitely suggest that to you. So yes, for sure, I am sending positive vibe your ways. And that vibe is called Ace Your CMP Exam Anytime, Anywhere. Links in my bio. Let's go. We do this. Get you ready to rock and roll by the morning. No ifs, ands, or but about it. Dice el regional VSO o algo, pero hablando claro. Interesting. This stresses me out, but I have my physical went well. CMP examiner, sweet lady I got. Thank you. I'll be looking at it for sure. Now take a look at it. Take a look at it. Please send me one. Yeah, the link in the my bio is what's gonna get you there. Actually, I should be able to let me see if I can put it here. Doop 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 doop. I should be able to paste that comment there for you, Richard. Richard said, "Hold on now. I need to get me some of that too." So I get it. He said, "Send me one." Boom, sent. Link is in the bio as well. Yeah, for sure. Reach out. She also did that to all my boys. Oh, sweet Jesus. Old lady got. Yeah, no, reach out. Like I said, that this is sadly people be peopling. But no, for sure, Judy, it definitely is stressing. It is a stressful situation because you're walking into something you don't know. I highly recommend the course. If for whatever reason you can't do that, what I would offer to you is it is a present tense conversation. It's not about what happened to you. It's about what's happening to you, and that's really what the focus needs to be. Um, oh, sweet Lord, let me see. Let me see. Let me see here. Uh oh. Uh oh. Oh, sweet Jesus. If you can afford to do things like that, you can only do the math as to what they're Lord. It is a small VA claim space. Lord. Lord. Lord is all I can say. Disturbing messages that definitely make it go, wow. I tell you, I will say sometimes I have a hard time believing in karma because it's almost like I don't see it. Karma apparently must be stuck somewhere in the highway because there are some really interesting people. But if that's the kind of package they're putting together, it really is very indicative of what they're doing behind the scenes to be able to do all that stuff. And again, they're hitting it hot and heavy, and they're just not taking any prisoners and all the things. But again, these turn the pan, whatever's. Money talks and bullshit walks. What can I say? The real sharks make the most outrageous claims and content, and people buy it, and they can offer ridiculous amounts of monies and blah blah blah. I could DM a screenshot of the bottom part of my decision alert too. You guys see what she is. Lord, I don't even want to know. Um, they are called. And that's the thing. These are all, you know, Faceless, nameless people sometimes who like to get people got, and then you just have some people who are just outrageous in the things they say. Oh, Dios, I've heard it all now. Yep, yep. That is interesting to say the least. I wonder how can you fund that when you are just, you know, not being sharky in ways. What a space. I think I've seen them once get one of my bets when they didn't help them out. Uh, yeah, yeah, and that's a sad part too. Which again, that's what I was saying earlier before I think you guys had jumped on. But that is what a lot of these companies do. They are huge in preying on a veteran's desperation and a veteran's weakness and a veteran's life situation circumstance. Um, and vets fall for it. And it's sad because that is literally what these people do, you know? So, yeah, they're veterans themselves and they like to purport that they're veterans and, they'll bash everyone because everybody's bad, but they're the only ones that are good. They have the solution. They saw a problem in the space, and they all say the same shit. It's all the same thing all the time. I don't like insert name of new fuckface, right? Um, New fuckface is in the space, and they have a solution because they're tired of seeing people get got, and now they have this groundbreaking way to fix a thing because they're upset of a thing. And then they get on these platforms and they cross pollinate with other like-minded yahoos that they pay for some attention and they push it and ram it down your fucking throat, via ads and all this other crap. And people feel like, hey, this has to be true. You know what I mean? Like that's the noise. And people buy it. Groundbreaking way to screw you, of course. And people buy it. You know what I mean? They buy it because they're desperate. You know what I mean? And I hate to say it like that, but it's almost like it's no different than someone who's starving. When you're starving, you will literally eat out of a garbage can. And you have veterans out here who will fall for the lie. It's like the whole used car salesman. No credit, no money, no problem. Well, guess what? You're gonna get got because someone who's gonna say to you, "Hey, I can get you to 100%," without even knowing what you're dealing with or where you're at. Where are you getting that from? How can you make a claim like that? That's literally predatory, damn near false advertisement. You know what I mean? No lube whatsoever. It's outright, I can get you to this promised land. I can get you to this thing. How? How can you do that without understanding or knowing shit about the situation? It's the equivalent of a doctor saying, I have the cure for your condition you're dealing with. How the hell do you know what I'm dealing with? Documents combat service providing 5 years of free medical care to the VA condition potential related service. Richard. Okay. Yeah, Richard, I'd suggest have a call to have an assessment and kind of go over what you're dealing with. But for sure, that might, you may have an argument for certain things there. You have exposure, you've been places, so there may be some presumptives potentially, maybe. But have to look at, all that you're dealing with for sure. Um, yeah, yeah. And we deal with a lot of that, Nando, too. So Nayeli is on my team. So um she's not just a random person like someone else earlier was outright just, DM me and I'll help you do a thing, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I know who Jackie is. I know who Nayeli is. And yes, I can't co-sign on what I can't co-sign. Reach out and see what she did and didn't do, what options you have. Yep. Yep. You go onto the Battles page, you'll see the bio on this young lady as well. Over because he sounded like a robot, I could tell. One of my veterans came for a CMP exam. During his exam, I stopped him and got him to start over because he sounded like a robot. Yeah, they go in there with rehearsed little, here's the 5 secrets of how to do a thing, blah, blah, blah. And it's almost like you could hear it a mile away. Like there's an examiner telling you right there. Literally. Like this is what people say. This is what people try to do. They try to do this whole rehearsed thing, and it's not genuine, it's not real, it doesn't come across like what it's supposed to be, very chat GPT-ish. I've had psychologists who literally have turned down veterans who like, "Look, who wrote this shit? What is this crap?" You know what I mean? This is very much chat GPT-ish. And we've had veterans get screwed over trying to do chat GPT things. Pull out the script that he provided by a claims company. Yeah, a script, not freaking teaching someone how to do something, a script, with the logo, on the script. Sweet Jesus. You literally can't make this shit up if you wanted to. You literally cannot make it up. You literally cannot make it up. Like, here, just go in there and read this. You know what I mean? Like, what? No entiendo qué es eso de template. No, Nando, básicamente, nosotros hemos tenido veteranos antes que le han hecho lo mismo. Entonces le mandamos una carta, un template. Eso más o menos es como un ejemplo que le mandamos una carta que tiene básicamente el argumento para decirle esto es lo que vamos a hacer, por esta razón no puede cobrarle, etcétera, etcétera, etcétera. Un ejemplo. Ok. Jackie out here learning the ins and outs. Jackie out here going through it. She's all up in it. You know what I mean? Like, sweet Lord. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But again, but you see, she sees it from all angles, right? Because she's doing the exam, so she's seeing veterans as they come in for the exam, and she also sees it from the side of being on social media, and then what you see on this side. So you see a lot of the people here doing all this stuff, like I was talking earlier, and people like, I get it, you know what I mean? They're like, I got you 100%. It's easy. DM me, folks. I'll get you there. Okay. You go right ahead and DM user 1050201. And let me know how that works out for you. Yeah. So le mando un DM a señor Nayeli. Nayeli, no, Nayeli trabaja conmigo. Si tú le das al link el bio, vete al about us. You can have a conversation with her as well. So mándale un DM a ella. That's fine. She's legit. She's real. She's on the website, so we're good to go. Real person. Boom. La doña, no la señora, la doña, con respeto. No le falte respeto. Esa es la doña. For Jackie and the rest of the company. She's upset and told Nando basically kick rocks because he called her ma'am. And I said, not ma'am. She is more than ma'am. She is milady, madam, madam. She's over here having an existential crisis as she's about to hit the big 4-0. So, now don't apologize, Nando. No, es la doña. Ponga respeto. La doña Nayeli. Mándale mensaje. Usted sabe. But yeah. But yeah, no, you could DM, you could send her a DM. She's not a shark, so you'll be fine. But damn, not the script with the logo. Like, that's crazy. Like, you're gonna literally send people, and then they'll still sit there and try to get them God and send them a bill and blah blah blah, or probably paid them up front, or probably took them for $1,400. But yet the sharks are who? You can't make yourself up if you want to. You can make it up if you wanted to. But if you'd like to talk to people who are not sharks, hit the link in my bio, talk to one of our advisors, request an assessment call, and actually get perspective into what you should do and what makes sense for your situation. Crazy concept. You might be able to talk to, our venerable, older advisors, senior advisors, like Nelly, which actually she is a senior advisor. Now that I think about it. Oh, snap. I'm going to get I'm going to get punched. I'm sure of it. But doesn't matter. Senior. That's the word of the day. If you guys don't see me come live again, my team took me out. Stabbed me. Good morning from Texas. Oh, sweet Jesus. No, God damn. Not from Texas and Navy. Lord. Oh, my God. Oh, my Lord. Let's see. I'm so proud of you. I'm here for you. No matter what, you are enough. Your effort is what's important. You are loved. Well, I'll take it. The message for me and for you all. I get out in November. I retire the United States Air Force E7. I'm definitely gonna be hitting you up. Actually, I would offer to you to look at our BDD course for those that are leaving service. I would highly encourage that, especially for folks leaving service you have time. So by the time you want to kind of get with me and do a thing, whether it's a one-on-one call or anything, do the BDD course. You can go through it. You have time. It'll help you to start putting your things together leading up till November, Jay. So usually what people do is because sometimes I'll have the people who are retiring or something, they want to do like a one-on-one with me or something. I always tell them, hey, look, do the course because then what we can do is build off from the course. It'll cover everything you need, resources, the whole nine yards. Again, you can kind of read through the page, links in my bio, and you can kind of see all that stuff there. Um, but you see here like all the modules. And again, it's more spaced out because you have time, right? So again, welcome to the course, understand the process, all that stuff. Look at it, read it for yourself, zoom in, pause the screenshot it, whatever the case may be. Moral story is everything you need to be able to be successful, you'll be able to do that. And then as you get closer and actually get the claim and submit it and you built it up right, then we can, polish and put, the missing pieces in place as needed. But we have been very successful with this course. Every veteran that has done it has left service, much, much good to go, is what I will say. Don't be like that on the great state. No, I got beef with the state. That's what it is. Because literally the person, on my crew, I actually have two. Yeah, I got two people in Texas. My whole team is spread around the country. But I have two folks in Texas, and I always get shit in some shape, fashion, or form. So there's that part. But no, Nayeli will be very pleased because she is definitely going to be all about Texas is in the house and blah 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 Navy and blah 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 this that the third blah. Want to jump on so I can hit him. Yeah, yeah. So I would recommend it, Jay, because it'll give you the everything you need to know so that as you walk into your window for the BDD, you'll have everything in place and you'll be able to be successful in packaging all that. And then once that's all in and done, then you can focus on the CMP, which we can then cover all that there, and you'll be good to go. Appreciate you, Nando. So that's what I would say for that. Wait a second. Who's the third? Oh, god damn it. Shit. Yeah. Yeah, there is 3 people apparently now. We just onboarded someone else. So now it's 3 in Texas. God damn it. Anyways, moving on. But no. But yeah, that's what I would say for sure. And again, it's just more you'll have everything you need to be, to have it in your ways. So I'm in Cocoa Beach. Sweet Lord. It just keeps getting better and better. What's going on here? Let's see. What other comments do we have? Well, hopefully the weather's not too bad by you, though. I'll say that because it's been crazy all over the place. But Richard, reach out for sure on YouTube. Let's see. Alrighty, good people. I think that we've been successful. We've tested things. Shout out to the YouTube crew. We're successful, so we now can do multi-dual streams. So on YouTube, we're on landscape and portrait. So I can kind of go like portrait for TikTok, and stream in different ways, and that makes my life a whole lot easier. So I love that, the ability to do that way. Um, let's see. But that's really all I have. I appreciate y'all, except for hanging out for a little bit. Let's see. Wow. If this person is a veteran, maybe look, this might be a claim in the making. I don't know. Apparently, they're freaking excrementing feces as we speak. So, um, good luck with that, is what I would say. So, have fun with the feces. Banned. All right. But yeah. Uh what news? Wait, did I tell you? Yes, I think I saw something to that effect. Congratulations. Give me the horn. Um Dum bum bum bum. Actually, this is true. This is true. Disabled broken veterans. What can you do? What can you do? Banned. Let's see. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh no, Jackie. That's why that offer was freaking so enticing. Not the twinsies. Congrats. Oh, you finna be busy, busy. Oh Lord. Yeah. Don't fall into the dark side. Be strong. Don't let the twin powers pull you over. That is amazeballs. You finna be busy, busy. Yay. That's dope. Congratulations. Congratulations. Applause, Abati. That is dope. That is dope. Man, that's a good positive note to end on right there. Celebrating. Exciting twins. Yeah. 100% PCNT was not able to get CPAP due to getting meds separated, but the VA gave me a new CPAP. You can, yeah, you can still potentially, again, it might not make a difference, but even if you didn't get on a separation side of the house, it doesn't mean you're barred from moving forward and doing different things. So, yeah, no ALC from, yeah. Mm-hmm. Nope, nope, nope. We will have it for you. So we will celebrate and pop the bottles in your stead, milady. So that's awesome, though. Congrats. 70% VA, 100% PNT. What's the difference? Um, literally. What's up, Vince? Appreciate you. Vince Silva reposted this stream. Appreciate you. X is in the building. Twitter. You mean DOD? Are you TDIU, my man? It depends. A few different ways I can go, for sure. But yeah, Wednesday night, we're back at it with Ace Your VA Claim, the live webinar, not on TikTok or social media. It's in Zoom. Links in bio. Sign up for that. You want to talk to an advisor to go over your claim condition, what you're dealing with, and get a no bullshit actual assessment about what you're dealing with. I suggest that you hit the link in my bio and request to speak to one of my advisors. Have an assessment call, have someone go over what you're dealing with, get perspective. It goes a long way. Don't commit to buying or paying for a thing without understanding why you have to do that. Sadly, veterans will get got. There will be casualties. There will be fallouts. And I mean that in the sense that people are going to get got. Like my veteran who was got for $1,400 for a 40-minute phone call with a Yahoo. Again, people are going to promise you things. Think about those commercials, right? No credit, no car, no money, no job, no problem. That is not a good deal. Do not get that car. You're going to get got. These things happen, sadly. What does it matter what state you're in? Nope, my organization is all across the state. So nope. No, it doesn't matter. Especially to just get perspective and have a conversation. Again, folks may need different things. We have different offers, so that matters. Link to my bio has a variety of different things folks can look at, from the AI bot we created to courses, live classes, etc. But an assessment call is what I would suggest for sure. Speak to one of my live advisors. They're amazing. I would definitely encourage you all to have that conversation. If you go to my website, you can see who they are. If anybody DMs you, they don't work for me. Um, be aware, if somebody works for me, they're on my website. So meet the team, scroll down, check them out. We got civilians, we got prior VSOs, we got prior raiders, we got some amazing individuals. Check out their bios, see what they're all about, and you can get some perspective. So I would highly encourage that. Real people that have the ability to do that. I need to talk to one of you. That's the whole point. Yeah, literally, like go and request a phone call. That's what it's for. Um, Richard. So that's the whole point. Like, not not offline. That's the whole point of having the ability to have a call, because it should be offline. You should have a conversation about a very private medical condition in a way that makes sense. So, um, yeah, that's the whole point. Have a conversation, get perspective, go over what's going on, and kind of go from there. So, yep. Yes, indeedy. But yeah, no. So sign up, have a call. check out the team, pick someone you want. If not, just go to veteransnetwork.club or on link in my bio. You can just request a call and then just assign you randomly. The whole team is amazing. It's just sometimes I think people may want to potentially feel like, hey, I want to talk to this person or that person. So whatever floats your boat. Let's see. I'm unemployable. Yeah. No, TDIU. Yeah. Yeah, leave it alone. It's pretty much the unemployability, TDIU. So it's not so much that there's a difference. It's just that you're 70, but you're being paid at 100 because you're unemployable. That's what the argument is. So it's not there's a difference. It's the same thing. It's just more that they're being compensating you because your individual unemployability is due to that PTSD. So they're compensating you at the 100% because of your disability. So yeah. Marine Corps in the building. Uh-oh. Caitlin, mi hermana, por fin llegó otra dominicana. Gracias a Dios. USMC is in the building. 90% currently fighting for 100% as we speak. Say less. I'm Dominican. You're Dominican. Sign up. Let's get out of here. Jesus Christ. Like, I don't want to hear anything else. The flag have me. That's it. The chat is inundated right now with a bunch of other folks from Texas claiming a whole nother flag. So Caitlin immediately becomes my best friend. So there's that part. Aquí estamos en familia. No hay nada más que hablar. Ya, tú estás 90. Para acá, mira. Vámonos. Arranca, arranca rápido. Eso es lo que hay. Ni mire para otro lado. Exacto. See that little eyeball that Neil is giving? She's doing that because she's hating. She's hating because now, guess what? The tide is turning. I got not only a Dominican in the building, I got a Marine in the building too. Come on now. Sweet Jesus. Caitlin's all over it. It's go time, baby. Look, I'm gonna make an assumption. Look, by being Dominican, it automatically is going to be a thing. Now, here, Ace of Spades in the building representing the Navy. Shout out to you, Ace of Spades. Man, I love it. I love it. Oh, we got let's see, we got Will B in the building, Puerto Rico. I saw the flag. What is going on? Shout out to you as well. Department of the Navy. Thank you. You're very welcome. Been following for a while you helped me fight for my claim. That's what's going on. Salute. What's popping, man? Look, I'm trying to freaking assemble the Caribbean because we got people, south of the border here talking shit on my team. So, that's all I'm gonna say about that. So I'm aligning all the resources. Air Force is in the building, 100%. Shout out to you. Was in the Army for 4 years, 80%. Currently trying to get to 100. Tristan, it may be possible. I would suggest a call for sure. So that's the biggest thing I would say. The link in my bio. Have a conversation with my team. So there's that part. Let's see. Is what dropping specifically? Okay, what I was gonna say. But yeah, no. I would suggest for sure an assessment call just to kind of go over where you're at, see what makes sense for sure. No, I don't think they're not dropping. Nuestra gente, stand up, man. Listen. It's funny. I was watching Saturday Night Live. I think Cardi B did a whole set with El Prodigio, and I was like, man, that is what's up. I think they could have done a little bit more for the performance, but if you caught it, then you know what I'm talking about. Where am I from? I'm from New York, of Dominican heritage, so Dominicano. But I'm from New York originally. No longer there. One too cold, and the fucking rent's too goddamn high. So there's that part. Representation, but always want more. Fuck yes. Her dress is also immaculate too, so there's that part. Good life decisions. Indeed. Word from me too, from the Bronx, Boricua. Okay, I'm from Brooklyn. That's what's up. Yeah, from Brooklyn. Oh, snap. Oh, shit. Hold on there. ¿Dónde está la trompeta? Aguanta. Otra más, coño. Listen. Come on. East New York. It's a whole New York, contingency. They just got together, man. We about to go run up on some people and fuck them up because people talking shit online. Oh man, that's crazy. It is a small world. It is a small world. Yes, indeedy. Kayla's from the Heights. You from the Heights? Ahí está, te lo dije, mira. Ahí está, te lo dije. Nah, don't go good night. Don't go good night. You stay here. Mexicans are welcome. Tú ves, ahora ves que hay uno contra nosotros y ahí está. Buenas noches, me voy. Tin, 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 tin. No, ven para acá, vuelve, no te vayas. Quédate de mito, para ti, musiquita. People, yes, Mex. People from outside New York don't understand how far BK is from the B. Man, look, it's a whole different situation, man. Look, BK BX, it is what it is. But for the purposes of online, we got to band together. Internally, we got, look, BK and BX, we don't mix too much, but for the purposes that we got to talk about, we got to stick together as New York. We got 3 New Yorkers in the chat right now. Fuck what you heard. Let's see. But I'll tell you what, though, it's like Texas. I couldn't tell you shit from where anything is at. I have to rely on them. Like when I'm in Texas, I'm like, I don't know where anything is at. That's why we got the boroughs. It's like its own place. Look, New York doesn't get that. People who are not from New York don't understand the boroughs. It's a whole different thing. You gotta do the knowledge. Facts. Outside New York, it's all love. Of course. Inside though, there's beef. Believe that. But it's like cousins and whatnot. East New York. East New York. So I'm over there coming. It's if exactly. Of course it's a war. But Manhattan's a safe spot. I went to school in Manhattan actually. So I'm from Brooklyn, but I went to school in Manhattan, so I was in Manhattan most of the time. Live in Texas now. Nah, I'm in Virginia actually. I settled here after I got out. No, so I came here with the government and actually settled here in DC. So I'm in VA right now. But I'm because my company's everywhere, so I got staff in different places. So Texas and all that. I got folks there, so that's part of it. Bum 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 bum. I'm in Cali. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, we're in Cali. I like Cali. Well, I like San Diego. Let's be honest. We're talking about. I have to go to Cali here shortly. That's me. I left New York for the military. Now I'm living in North Carolina. Okay, you're not too far. You're right there, North Carolina. Like yeah, I get it. It is night and day. My sister actually is in North Carolina, so Sacramento. I actually was just in Sacramento in the summer, and I may be back soon. There's a whole big push going on over there. Your government's trying to fuck us over. Well, not them, but they're pushing some new legislation over there. So I actually was in Sacramento, down at City Hall. We're trying to push for some of the legislations they're pushing for veterans out there. So literally was there for sure. How to shut out here? Okay, don't rub it in. Don't rub it in. It's like 7 degrees out here. It's brick. It's brick as a motherfucker out here. And you'll talk about it's hot as hell out here. Don't do that, Will. Don't do that. Like literally, just rub it in. Over here freaking dying. Freaking in the pits. But that's what's up. That's what's up, man. One of my partners who works out there, she's a psychologist out in San Diego. I'm gonna go see her and we're gonna do some collaborative work, etc. She was like, come enjoy this weather. It's great out here. I'm like, shit. Keep rubbing it in. Not right now. I'm talking about this. Oh yeah. Yeah, but no, she was saying like she's in San Diego and she's like they're like in the 80s. She's like they're having a great weather. I'm like, what the hell? How do I start my claims? I'm looking for help. Got out 2 years ago. Yup. Northern Cat is colder. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I spent a lot of time back there. East New York. Might as well be Queens. Hope you're well. Where are you from? Yeah, you talking a whole lot right now. Well, yeah, but yeah. Because it is pretty much it's city line. So yeah, technically, you want to get technical, it might as well be Queens, but it's not Queens. But pushing to Bushwick, so I spent some time in Bushwick. My grandparents were there, so all of Brooklyn. But yeah, close enough. I was literally like 4 blocks from Queens. So yeah, yeah. And then of course being in the city, Diana knows. She knows what time it is. But don't be over here talking crap about East New York either now. Tranquila. Don't be going crazy. Nurse Diana. Nursing over here. Where are where you from? Did I miss that? Where you from? Diana over here starting beef. Nope, you're on my bad side now. Sunset. Okay, yeah, you're deep in Brooklyn, so yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, it's fine. No worries. No, you always gonna say Bed Stuy or some shit. Nope. East New York. Even though I was raised for a good amount of my time in Bushwick, so take that with a grain of salt. That's crazy. Sunset Park, great movie. Are you still in Sunset or did you leave Diana? Where you at now? Trolling with New Yorkers don't work. We don't play. uh, nah, son. Uh, Caitlin knows. But not getting for real. Like all jokes aside, obviously we're all talking shit because of course we found our freaking graves and okay, our peoples and stuff. Um, but yeah, I know Nando's gonna reach out and whatnot. Reach out to the crew. We got some amazing people, for sure. Um, doing some good things this year, so I think it's gonna be pretty dope. Actually, speaking of North Carolina, Nigeli, we have to go to North Carolina. Gotta go see Dennis. So we got some vets out there. Two of my older veterans. My oldest veteran is out there now, actually. So gotta go see him. But yeah, yeah. 2026 people like don't sleep on the stuff. Get your stuff in. Get the right help. You know what I mean? Obviously, get with the kid. We're good at what we do. End of story. The end. But regardless of which way you go, find the help that helps you and meets you where you're at. That's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to trying to solve this problem. Um, Gravesend, Texas, Cali, etc. Check. I get it. I get it. But that's dope though. That is dope. Caitlin, where's your family from in DR? Hmm? Do I know how long the hiring takes? It depends. It depends, Polo. It depends. Some things can be overturned very quickly and fixed. Some stuff might need rework. Some stuff might need a new CMP. Some stuff might need this. Some stuff might need that. So really, there's no real way to know um, the complexity of the claim and what's required. If the high level review found an error, if they're fixing it, right? So it's a toss up. Nursing out, picketing now. Okay, shout out to you. That's dope. How long you been nursing for now? Actually, one of my advisors, she's a nurse. She started with us when she was in school, which is yeah. However, you took a year, yeah. And again, we've had some that take, some take days, some takes weeks, some takes months, some takes years. It depends, right? Do we have to do a new examination? Are things needed, etc.? All that matters. All over. My aunt's directly in the city. She got money. Then my uncles and all are deep in the woods. Check. Makes sense. Makes sense. We're in DR. Directly in the city. Then I got back pay, which is nice. That's always nice. Went from 90 to 100. The back pay was nice after a year. Yeah, yeah. We've seen some crazy, crazy ones. We had a veteran who won, I think one of Brian's ones. He won back to 2019. That was insane for him. Alrighty. We will start to wrap it up, good people. It was dope to hang out, catching up with my peoples. Um, I swear to God, the one thing that never fails when it comes to social media is and this only really happens on the tube. It's always the weirdness of some people. Ban. Um, let's see. Last I checked, my uncle's is on the Valle, and they probably moved by now. It's been 5 years. Check. Got it. I gotta actually go back in a few. I got an old property my grandma had there. Property tax exemption in VA. Yes, there is in Virginia, and they have school benefits and stuff for dependents as well. Virginia is very similar to like what Texas does with I think it's the Homestead, whatever. Hazelwood rather. Served 4 years in the Marine Corps, rated 70. Semper Fidelis. Shout out to you. Glad you're here. Fun fact: I am an Army veteran, but I am also a graduate of the Marine Corps University. I did spend some time at Command and Staff over at Quantico with some amazing folks. I hope to go next month. I got out in March, so I'm finally able to without so many obstacles. Okay, got it. Got it. Yeah, 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 for sure. I have to go. Actually, I have to go and I want to check out this place. I think one of them have reached out to me. They have these like veteran resort things that they're doing now, etc. Um, in DR, like in Punta Cana, they have a lot of that stuff now, which is pretty interesting. So I'm definitely looking into that for sure. DP's taking the team to DR. That's the joke. Apparently, I'm taking the team to DR. But it looks interesting. You know what I mean? So that's something that I'm gonna make some connections with them and probably head out there, knock out 2 birds with one stone, get some content, see what they're talking about. Have some ideas and things we could do. So, let's see the exemption. Yeah, 100%. If you're 100%, it's full. It's full, not partial. They took the fun out of tourists in certain areas. Yeah, for sure. Especially like Punta Cana's gone to shit. I think they're freaking um where have they moved now? Lord Almighty. Now the news everybody's now starting the other is where the it escapes me now. It'll come to me in a little bit, but um yeah, they've oversaturated freaking Punta Cana and now they're doing the same in Gran Poder de Dios. The fucking name escapes me. What city is it now? But yeah. No, I'm not taking a team. Well, I might. We might do it. We just had our annual meeting in Colorado, so we might have to do the next one in DR maybe. Puerto Rico's beautiful. I need some Latin halal food though. Man, listen, now you're talking. I'll tell you what, man. I was also an air marshal, so that's a disclaimer. And I'm retired from that now. Um, I would say New York has some amazing halal food because you got a little bit of everything. But I'll tell you what, you can't beat like the best halal food I've ever had was in Jordan. Turkey was second, but Jordan, amazing, amazing. Let me get some halal phone. Man, listen, that's that fusion shit. I ain't mad at you. I am not mad at you. Damn, that's lit. In Cali, it's only about 170K, so a portion. Yeah, Cali's for the birds. Dearborn, Michigan, friendly best halal food. No, for sure. And again, if you know, you know. What I mean, but I'm talking about like, but actually being in the Middle East and spending time. I spent a lot of time in the Middle East, both in the military and outside the military, in government work, and it is amazing. But yeah, New York City, man. Listen, shit, you go to the city, man. You find them damn freaking trucks. It's hard. I come to Virginia. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck y'all over here talking about. It's like New York pizza. Everywhere you go, people are like, oh, there's a New York pizza place. I'm like, no, it's not. Let's see what this is about. This is garbage. Get it out of here. Denied. I love going to places where they're like, oh, we got New York pizza. I'm like, really? Go to Texas. They'd be like, oh, New York pizza. Okay, let's see. Um, Dearborn, Michigan. I got some folks in Michigan actually. I wouldn't say it's for the birds. I love it here, but as far as BA benefits, I feel you, man. Look, it's the benefits ain't shit out there, man. They're trying to take more shit, but it's nice. Please be active, senior doctor, when seeking VA claim. For sure, that's the way to go. A bit too reckless as a young vet when it came history. And look, I understand. I understand. I understand. Um, okay. When I used my post 9/11 jet going to college, it was most yep. Oh yeah, for sure. Like San Francisco, New York City, it's insane. That much I do remember. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, yeah. No, it adds up. It definitely adds up. So it's definitely a thing. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna shut it down here. Good people. Wednesday night is class. If you can make it, love to see you there. Links in the bio. Talk to the team. let's get this claim situation solved, get with folks to give a shit and actually show up is the shameless plug because it's what we do. I would offer that for sure. Nice talking to y'all. I'll be back for sure. Caitlin, reach out, man. We're here, whenever you're ready. And everybody else, same thing as well. Jay, shout out to you. I appreciate you. Will be safe out there. Everybody else, again, do what you must do. Do you help bettors via claims? I am new here. The answer is yes, Black T. Literally all I do. It is my thing. I have a company. We have many services. I teach a class on Wednesday night coming up for the basics of claims, and I have a whole team. I would offer to you to have a conversation with my crew. Links in my bio. You can select an assessment call with real people with real information. So you could definitely check us out. And I always emphasize this because we're talking disabilities, we're talking claims. So go to the website, hit the about us. You don't have to freaking scroll to find out who we are. And again, I'm not hating on nobody. All I'm saying is we're going to have a conversation about disabilities and personal conditions and personal things that are very personal in nature and apparent to you. You want to talk with somebody who's real, not just randomly some page that's just like, we're veterans helping veterans, but who the fuck are you? I'm sorry. I see your name, you're going to see my name. Real people helping real people. That to me means something. Not very clickbaity, but it's the facts. But check the crew out. They're amazing. But the link in bio, you'll be able to see all the stuff that we have there for sure. But yep, we work with veterans, help them with claims. So depending on what you need, link in my bio, you see different things that are there. Check out the chat GPT thing we created. Some needs courses, some need a class, some need a one-on-one. We have different offers, right? So it's not like a gotcha one size fits all situation. Really, it's about education. Hence, look at my page, look around. It's not no promise of do a thing, buy a thing. No. I believe in education. I believe in empowerment. I believe veterans should have an option. So make informed decisions, right? Is what I would say. But no, you're in the right place. Check out the website, have an assessment call. There's no pressure, and you can get some perspective. So Roxy Katz, I appreciate you for asking. That is a perfect question for sure. And you're welcome. So let's see what zone. I don't know what you mean, Richard, over on YouTube as far as the zone is concerned, but not sure what the zone. What do you mean? Zone? Time zone? Because we're all over the place. I'm on the East Coast. Not sure if that's what you're asking or not, but we're gonna index there. I think that we are good. If I missed your question, I promise you I did not ignore you. I just didn't see your question. The algorithms do filter things out. So sometimes I'm asked questions and I don't see them because they're either saying something that triggers the algorithm or it gets sanitized or whatever. So the irony always is that we can't talk about a lot of things sometimes, or certain things get scrubbed, but you can thirst trap apparently and show cleavage and crack and crotch, and that's fine. But you talk about disabilities and the system goes crazy. Make it make sense. I appreciate y'all. Links in bio. Sign up. Have a call. Reach out. We are here. Y'all are the best. Be safe. Good luck on your CMPs for those that have it coming up. And we will be back. Appreciate y'all. Boom, 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 boom. Hit me with the boom, 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 boom.